The Incredible Hulk will not be presented this evening.
Hey everyone, it's Antenna, and you are watching the DL Show only on Dave's Guitar Channel.
All right. Welcome, everybody. It is Monday night. It is Cyber Monday night, I will say. I hope everyone took advantage of those online sales on Pornhub. Actually, just kidding. Anyways, there's a new face here. I want to introduce him to everybody. We'll go around the horn first. Welcome, Joe.
Hello.
Welcome, Jerry.
Hello.
Welcome, Krellbar. And everyone, the new face here is my buddy Matt. Matt, welcome to the show.
How's it going?
As you can see from the guitars behind him, he is a guitar player. Matt and I go back 25 years from basically when he first moved to LA and started working at Gold's Gym right after my tenure there. Mm-hmm. And we've been talking quite a bit, actually, about a few things. Matt, recently you've been doing the carnivore diet.
Oh, yeah.
So we've been talking about that because we are friendly with the Bell brothers. They're Chris and Mark, who are doing it as well and been doing it for like a year and a half. There's a guy that comes on the show. He said he might come on a little later today, Chuck. And Chuck was a power lifter who knew Mark Bell. We worked out at the same West End Barbell, I think it's called, Louis Simmons gym there in Ohio that Mark went to. But anyways, Matt is also a very big Randy Rhoads fan, and he was steaming last week. Just steaming.
I was pissed off too.
He couldn't believe the nonsense. Zach Wilde better than Randy Rhoads. How you dare question
that bullshit?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's all opinion when it comes down to it. But there was some things that were being said that I don't think Matt necessarily agreed with. And you were friendly with the family as well, Matt, weren't you?
Yeah, I back in I actually saw Randy play twice. I saw him on the Blizzard and Diary tours. And right after he died, I started, I called his mom at her music school and I started talking to her, and she's like, my daughter would like to talk to some fans, and she got me in touch with her, and we started corresponding and like exchanged some letters and things. And she's like, if you ever come to LA, you gotta visit. So when I was like 19, I made a trip out there and wound up going to the school and meeting his mom and his brother, and we get in a station wagon and she drives me over to his sister's house, and I spent like the evening just like looking through family photos and all kinds of stuff. And she showed me a picture that Don Airy, the keyboard player, took. It's a big 8x10, and it was Randy on the steps of the plane, getting on. It's like the last picture ever taken of it. So she's like, she was going to give me a copy of it, and then she later changed her mind and said, some things ought to just be for the family. So I was like, okay, that's cool. But then the other thing was her husband represented the family in Florida when the accident happened, and he went to the crash site and he found a piece of this yellow Gibson Les Paul T-shirt that Randy was wearing when he crashed. And he brought it back and gave it to her, and she couldn't deal with it, so she just like threw it away. And she's like, "If I would have kept it, I would have given it to you." And I was like, "Yeah, that's kind of cool, but I don't know. It's also kind of weird, but
morbid, but at the same time, I get it.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I just knew everything about him, and just have was just such a big fan even before he died that just have collected every kind of scrap of any magazine or anything, and talked to a lot of.
And what's odd about the whole thing is that you actually grew up really close to my favorite guitar player's growing up place.
Oh, that's the country guy.
You know it.
I know. I can't.
Steve Warrener.
Yeah.
From Noblesville.
Oh yeah, that was like half an hour from my hometown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be driving over there. Where is he?
Yeah.
I'm driving and crying. No, he's been in Nashville forever. But anyways, interesting stuff.
Well, the thing I kind of took an issue to is like, I don't know if you guys ever saw it, but about 10 years ago, they put out a box set of the first two Ozzy albums, and it was vinyl and CDs and DVDs, and there was a concert DVD in there from the Palladium in New York that had never been released, but there was also a documentary called 30 Years After the Blizzard, and they've got Zakk Wylde on there, and he's playing like several of Randy's solos, and at the end of it he plays D, and the guy just worships Randy. He's got like huge posters in his house of him. He's like got copies of all his guitars. He's got one of his stage outfits, and he just like talks about how he just like, he calls him Saint Rhodes, and it's like for somebody to say that Zakk is better than him, it's like, well, I think if you ask Zakk, he's going to tell you, nah, I don't think so. And that's just my 2 cents on that.
Yeah. Tommy's saying Randy was quitting Ozzy before he died.
Not entirely true. He had agreed to do the album that turned out to be Speak of the Devil. He was supposed to play that with the Black Sabbath songs. He didn't like doing it, and he didn't want to do it, but he had agreed to do that album. That's why Brad Gillis wound up doing it, because he was the quick replacement after Bernie Torme. So,
right. And if there's any way to get out of agreement, dying in a fiery plane crash is a good one.
Because they were under contract to do that album. So he agreed to do a live Sabbath album, and he agreed to do one more studio album after that. And he said, after that, I need a break. So he never said, I'm quitting, but he said, I need time off because I want to go to UCLA and get my degree in classical guitar. So they were like, okay, if you do the live album and you do one more studio album and one more tour after that, then you can take your time and do your thing. But of course, that never happened. So.
Right.
But to say he was quitting, it was like, it's kind of true. And that's, the rumor. He wasn't really quitting like I'm out forever. He was like, I'll do this, I'll fulfill these obligations. And once that's over, I'm taking some time off, whether you like it or not. So,
leave of absence.
Right.
One thing I'm going to say, though, and this cannot be argued, those first two Quiet Riot albums are rotten.
Well, he didn't want anybody to hear those. He told his mom, if anybody asks you for those, tell them they're not worth hearing. He absolutely was embarrassed by those albums.
Yeah, I don't think he definitely was, I would say, a slave to Kevin Dubro's style, which was terrible. I mean, you know what they sound like? They sounded like a bad version of early Sparks. A bad version of early Sparks.
Yeah, absolutely. And
I had an album. It was Randy Rhoads bootleg or something I got in Providence. It had a bunch of songs from his bands before Quiet Riot. I think it was a band called Violet Fox.
Oh, that's the one he did with his brother, but I've never heard any recordings from them.
Yeah, it wasn't a good recording. It was on vinyl too. It ended up getting it was at my mother's house when they moved stuff out, and it ended up getting trashed. But
oh wow, that's cool. Yeah, I didn't know they actually had any recordings of that. But his brother, they mentioned last week that his brother was a drummer, and that was like Eddie and Alex Van Halen, which was not the case, because his brother was only a drummer for a very short time. Right when Randy was first playing guitar, his brother later went on to be a vocalist and put out a couple of albums as a singer, and then now he puts out piano music. He just puts out like instrumental piano stuff. So, but yeah, he's never had the talent to, take it very far. So he just kind of lives off his brother's fame.
Yeah. Well, but Randy was very young. You and I talked about this week, man, how young he
27?
was.
Yeah.
No, he's like 22 and 23 when he wrote those two albums.
Oh, when he wrote
23
the
and
album.
24.
I was talking about when he died.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
he was
he'd only been
25.
25, but he'd only been 25 for 3 months.
He was born.
Yeah.
He was born 58. So yeah,
I
okay.
was born in
Yeah.
56.
56. Oh, okay, my bad.
Yeah, December of 56. So at the end of 56, so you got to figure at the end of 81, he had just turned 25. So
Yeah.
December, January, February, and then March 19th. So 3.5 months, he was 25. So he was still, I mean, I can't, remember what I was doing at 25, but I sure as hell wasn't recording 2 landmark albums.
Yeah. No, I mean, those albums are sensational. That was my point. It's like he was a kid and I'll tell you, they whipped out Diary fast. Although when I watched that, Frankie Benali said before he got in the band, he already was working on Over the Mountain. And that happens a lot where people work on.
That's kind of debatable, though. I mean, I've heard him try to take credit for like that drum intro, and Lee Kerslake is like, he's full of shit. I think that, So
yeah, I like Lee.
Yeah, well, they're both dead now, so we'll never know for sure. But
right. Well, we did.
And then the other thing was the guy in Arizona, Zim, I think, said something about there's a guy he knows who was like his amp tech, and the name he said is like never heard of, never seen that guy on anything, and I think he's feeding him a line of shit because he didn't have a separate amp tech. His guitar tech.
Or maybe they came through town and the guy worked on his amp once, and all of a sudden he's crediting it. Now instead of I changed his tubes, I was his tech.
He was saying that he had his guitars and the guitars were set up like shit and everything. It's like, no, he had a guitar tech named Pete Mertens, who I've never, heard him do any interviews or anything. And then he had a different guy in the UK that was drinking too much and they didn't bring him to the US for those tours. But Diary, was recorded.
Grover made his guitar. Grover's setups are always fucking fantastic.
Yeah, especially the first guitar with his name on it. He's not going to have a set on that. So and then that's it. I do have a quick story for that might be interesting, and this is something you should look up on YouTube. But when I was still in high school, I was 18, and right after he died, I got a hold of Carl Sandoval, and I was like, I want you to make a Flying V for me. He wouldn't make one of the polka dot ones at the time. Now he makes them like by the hundreds. But so I said, I want that guitar, but I redid a little bit. I put the headstock has a curve instead of the straight cut. And then I said, make it white with like black diamonds on it. And he made the guitar for me, sent it to me. I had it for several years. And then I said, you know what? I don't want to be a Randy Rhoads clone. So I sold it to some guy. Hadn't seen it in, over 30 years. One night I'm home watching Pawn Stars, and some guy walks into the pawn shop with my guitar, and my fucking jaw hit the floor. And he's like, yeah, I've got a 1979 Carl Sandoval. And they have Carl come in to verify the fucking guitar, right? And I'm just like, I can't believe that's my fucking guitar. I even drew up schematics and like a back and front view of this guitar, how I wanted it done. And Carl's like, I've never seen anybody do this before. I can't believe you drew this up. So anyway, he said, has him come in. He said, yeah, I made this. This was like the next one he made after Randy's. And he said that he never made another one like it. I think that he actually made one for George Lynch first. And that's where Randy got the idea to have it made. So I still have like the receipt for this guitar. It was actually made in 82. But anyway, he said, well, here's the big question. Who'd you make it for? And I'm like, oh, is he going to say it was me? And he goes, some guy in Pennsylvania. I don't know, Pittsburgh. I don't remember his name. They're like, oh, well, it wasn't a big rock star. So anyway, he said, yeah, nowadays this would cost $7,000 to have me make it. And I paid $700 in 1982. Wow. And he goes, so he offers the guy like $4,500, and the guy doesn't even barter. He just takes it. And so I called the pawn shop, and I'm like, I wanted to get the guitar back. They had already sold it. And I called Carl and I said, "Hey man, you know, you said it was this guy in Pennsylvania. I'm from Indiana, and my name's Matt Cable, and you know, what's up?" He's like, "Oh, I thought it was this guy. What's his name? Morgan Sands." And I was like, "Holy shit, that's the guy I sold it to." So I looked the guy up. He's not on Facebook or anything. I just Google his name and I get a landline phone number. I call him. He hangs up a couple times, then he picks up. I said, "Hey, do you remember this?" And he's like, "Yeah, you're the guy from Indiana." And I go, "Yeah." I go, "Whatever happened to that guitar?" He goes, "Someone stole it in New York." And I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" I go, "It was just on Pawn Stars." So if you go on YouTube and just put in Carl Sandoval Pawn Stars, you'll see the whole like edited video of just that guitar. So anyway, he's trying to find, I said, "Find the, you know, we got to follow this up." And he's trying to find the police report so we can get the guitar back. He never is able to get it. We can't get anybody in New York to help us. But I wrote an email to the editor of Guitar World magazine, told him the story, and they printed a full-page story in the 40th anniversary of Guitar World magazine with pictures that I took of that guitar in my bedroom in 1982. And I said, "I still got the receipt. I've got a handwritten letter from Carl. That was my guitar." And I don't know who bought it, but somebody's got a hot guitar that.
Wow.
Sorry, I just thought you guys would find that interesting, but
Yeah, it's funny.
Oh, it is.
That's funny. So, gentlemen, let me just go over a couple of things. There's a couple of things I want to discuss. I do have a list for tonight. I
got a list too.
All right, good. And Matt, why don't we see some of those guitars? They're looking quite juicy. That orange one kind of reminds me of my G&L from here, but is that the one that I saw you do it, the orange behind you on your right there?
Yeah.
I'm gonna blow him up, guys, so we can see that guitar. Oh, that looks like pink. What is this?
Nice.
Yeah. This it says Telecaster Custom, but I think some would say it's a deluxe pickguard.
Right.
20 frets. It came with like it looked like P90s in it when I got it. But these pickups were made by hand for me in California by a guy named Michael Pack, who has a company called Sonic Pickups. And these are what he called the Bar Fighter series that are kind of like, he patterned them off the Eddie Van Halen pickups. But he used to work in the movie effects industry, so he color matched the plastic of the bobbins to the finish of the guitar. And he also made the knob for that. And
wow.
the knobs I just got off. But yeah, it's one of my favorites, and you know, I have never seen another one like it. So
yeah, it's cool looking. Let's see the headstock. Does it say Fender on the headstock?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, Fender. There we go. Oh yeah. 70s custom headstock. Nice.
Yeah, and then these two over here. Oh, first let me say, does anybody know what this is?
Is that a Hondo?
No.
Yeah.
This is a replica of what was called a Vox Winchester. The only person I know that has one is Warren Cucurullo from Missing Persons, but it's made from a Vox wah-wah pedal. And
Yeah, I remember him playing the small guitar.
Yeah, that's what he was.
Well,
playing.
he also played a Steinberger later.
Frank Zappa gave him that guitar, actually. This one here I've had for quite a while. I really like this one. This is a custom shop.
Yeah, and that's based. Looks like the binding in the front and back was like what, a 62 custom, I think they called that year.
I don't know.
I think it was a 62. Well, because in the natural wood, that's what's his face played. The Iceman. What's his name? Albert Collins.
Oh, okay. But this, I had the two DiMarzios put in, just changed the color of the pick guard, and then had these and put a kill switch in it.
Yeah, Cheech, he played for Duran Duran after, but he was from Missing Persons, which Missing Persons was basically Zappa's band.
Oh, yeah.
Terry Bozzio, Patrick Ahern, Warren, and Dale. And, they all did the either one was on Shake Your Booty or Shake Your Booty or Joe's Garage. Oh, that's a cool one.
Yeah. It's this one's got
is that an ebony fingerboard or is that just dark rosewood?
Rosewood. This one is what do they call this? The what edition? Yeah, I can't. My eyes are too bad, but it's a USA some certain edition.
Oh, it is.
Let's see it go on the back.
Oh, and it's also double bound too.
Yeah. See that? I'm not sure what that sticker says. I need my reading glasses to.
Oh, that's the like the reserve. What do they call that? The Fender FSR. Fender Special Reserve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
That's what that sticker is.
I like the double binding on these. I love that.
Yeah.
That's all the time.
So that's just a USA, not a custom shop, but it's a very limited. Yeah, it's a limited guitar they made.
Yeah. This one here is. I showed Dave this earlier, but it's got a graphite neck. It was made. I mean, a friend of mine bought this when we were in our 20s. Modulus black knife. But he had actually talked to the company one time, and this is the only neck they ever made with this. This is like their logo inlaid on the 12th fret, and this is the only neck they ever made like this. But
Show them how thin that neck is.
It's so
Holy
thin.
crap.
Yeah. But this is completely graphite. You can't adjust it, but it will never warp, bend, break.
Yeah.
You could probably jump on it and it won't break. But it is really thin. If you can, I don't know if it'll show up, but you can kind of see the pattern in the back of the neck. It's like almost like a tiny checkerboard where I don't know if they'll show up.
Nah, it's too hard to see.
There you go.
Oh,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
I can see
It's the graphite. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What's it called? Composite Acoustics has that same thing on their front, and so does Rain Song guitars. Those graphite acoustics.
And last but not least, this is my old trusty Charvel 1984.
Oh yeah.
I've had this since I was like 19.
Now that's a USA, right?
Oh yeah, so it's got San Dimas. It's got like a 4-digit serial number on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because I think it's either late '84 or early '85. They went to Ontario, and then they didn't. Then they went to Japan for the Charvels. Remember the models 1 through 6?
Yeah, but they that one when I originally bought that, it showed up and the headstock had snapped, and I had to send it back, and they replaced the neck and sent it back to me. But at the time, it didn't have a Floyd on it. It just had standard Fender type ridge on it.
Right. Excellent.
Dialed in.
Charvel made good strats, man.
Oh, this thing still plays amazing.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's.
I love those necks. I like the way they look beat up because they really were just oil finished, and for back then, they just take all the dirt.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, I've never cleaned my finger googe off the neck.
Yeah.
Got all the mileage on
character.
it. Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy. Good stuff. Nice guitars.
Yeah, I've got one, but it's back in the bedroom. So.
Oh yeah, and Matt's also possibly going to start a guitar channel of some kind at some point.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that.
Which will be cool, and we'll have you back on and promoting it and all that fun stuff.
Cool.
Guys, today, what was I listening to today in the gym? Oh, I listened to Deep Purple today in the gym. I gotta go back and say that Who Do We Think We Are is their best album.
That's a great album.
It's real. You know what? There's 5 songs on it. The first side 1 and Rat Bat Blue on side 2.
Oh, I love Rat Bat Blue.
That are 10s. Every song is fantastic. Then you get Place in Line, and I'm like, this is a boring blues song, but so is Lazy. And then Our Lady at the end is okay. It's a decent song. But those first 5, it's like out of the gate, it's better than any record they've ever done. I think anyway. Matt, do you have any videos up? Jan Esterlis is asking.
Just those Randy solos that I put on YouTube and Facebook, but I'm going to be putting some more stuff up soon.
All righty. And then Tommy was asking if you ever tried out for any big name bands.
Actually, when when Randy died, I sent a tape in to audition for Ozzy, and I still have the letter that said, thanks, but thanks for sending your tape, but not really. No, I haven't auditioned for any big ones.
Sharon. But yeah, so anyways, I listened to that. I wanted to get that out about Deep Purple and then we were talking the other day about Burn versus the Stormbringer. And I have to say, both albums bother me when Glenn Hughes sings. You got a singer. First of all, Coverdale was in his prime then. His voice was awesome. And then every 5 seconds, I hear Glenn Hughes singing. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? It bothered me, which is why Whitesnake was better. And then I was talking to Matt this week about MSG, because Michael Schenker Group, I don't know how many, are you guys familiar with Michael Schenker Group at all?
Yep.
Joe?
Yeah.
So the first album, Michael Schenker Group, the second album, MSG, and the fourth album, Built to Destroy, all feature singer Gary Barden. That guy's fucking awesome. How the hell is he not up there in frontman? His voice was great. I'll tell you the reason, I think, is because when Michael went to Macaulay Schenker and got that other guy to sing who had a horrible Jim Gillette type voice, it ruined the band. Who the hell wants to hear that?
Yeah.
It sounds like his balls are in a vice. The songs sound like shit. Every time I try to find a live with Gary Barden. So I did find this great live show on YouTube with Gary Barden singing like in 1984. And I'll tell you what irritated me. The final song of the night was Lights Out. I'm like, all the Schenker songs to me, I think, are way better than the UFO tunes. Forget your Lights Out. It's not a good song. Can we cut the shit now?
Yeah,
That bothered me.
It's a fan favorite. They're going to close with that.
Yeah, I know the high parts are, but there's some parts in Hold On that I think it works. But in the and that song, Love's Not, whatever the second song is on that album, it bothers me. Just bothers me. Also, I thought of this today. There was a Dawkins song came on the radio. Hey now, Andrew Collins. And I'm not a huge George Lynch fan. I think I've made it very public. Mm-hmm. I like Just Got Lucky. I do like the Tooth and Nail album, but as a guitar player, he bores me. But I always feel like all those bands, DeMartini and Rat, George Lynch, they're all trying to just rewrite Unchained. Nuno, when he did Mama Don't Want to Go to School Today, everyone's just trying to write Unchained again.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
I can see
Yeah,
that.
Round and Round is kind of
Well,
in that vein.
what's one? Lay It Down is like, all right, here's my version of Unchained. Okay, George, what'll say yours? All right, now let's listen to Nuno do fucking Mama Don't Want to Go to School Today. Can we stop doing Unchained? Everybody wanted to be Van Halen. I don't know if you guys ever heard of a band called White Lion.
Oh,
Oh, dude.
Vito Bratta, it's like, come on.
I saw them open for a band. And
Vito was phenomenal.
He's a
before
great player, but can Eddie take a piss without somebody on his nuts? What the hell's going on here?
I think he
Going
did.
back-
I think he did his own thing with the tapping.
Yeah, let me add to that, Krell, because you're absolutely right. There's an interview where Zach Wilde said, out of all the guys that were trying to copy Eddie, the only guy that could do it and did his own thing with it was Vito Bratta.
But he still copied him. It's not like listening to Jeff Watson do the taps.
But the thing is, Vito Bratta's solos, they're like little mini songs within the song. They're just fucking beautiful.
I would
to
never
listen to.
I'd never confuse that solo and wait with Eddie Van Halen in 1 second. The way he phrases and the way he
It's natural to him.
it's totally different than what
Yeah.
Van Halen does.
I'm not saying that he's Van Halen, but you can hear the influence he's wearing
yeah,
on
of
his
course.
sleeve.
Of course.
Everyone's
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. He's writing Unchained. Everyone wants to write Unchained.
well, Vito,
And it's not my favorite song by the band. Like, could you fucking could someone try to copy Drop Dead Legs? I like that one. I'm just saying. Or Unchained. Forget on that album. I mean, what about Hear About It Later? Although maybe Maybe Queensryche tried to do that with Take Hold of the Flame, right? That sus too. I'll line up everything. I'll line up everyone that copied Van Halen, and then I'll show you that all those Van Halen songs were just old ZZ Top songs. Right? Fucking Billy Gibbons right now is home going, they're copying Van Halen. That motherfucker was on my nuts. How does, you know what's, let me tell you how dumb guitar players are. Van Halen comes out and says, the guy who I love is Eric Clapton. Oh, really? Then how come every one of your fucking licks is Billy Gibbons? Every one of them. You and Clapton are fucking polar opposites, but Billy Gibbons, if you just fucking sped it up the record from 33 to 45, it's all Van Halen.
You're the only person to make that comparison, I think, so far.
Oh, you listen. I'm telling you right now, if you go listen to Beer Drinkers and Hellraisers, there is no way you're going to say Eddie didn't listen to this song and fucking work his whole career.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I've never heard anyone else do this. Compare them.
It's unbelievable. Every song. Well, did you know Ray Lucia, the drummer that played with David Lee Roth? He played up in Metal Shop for a long time.
No.
What is going on with my phone? My phone is going nuts. Folks, I'm in the middle of a rant. Anyways, he played with David Lee Roth, and when Lee Roth and him were talking, they said they used to listen to a lot of ZZ Top to come up with ideas.
Not really.
And I was like, oh, you got to be kidding me. It sounds, every song I've been saying Hot for Teacher is LaGrange since I heard it.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, and Tush is everything else, Fools. Right? I mean, you could go back and listen. If you listen, and Billy does the tapping in fucking Beer Drinkers and Hellraisers, does all those slow taps that Eddie does. It's all there. Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying we can all sit there and say all the bands in the 80s wanted to rewrite the song Unchained, and Eddie was rewriting Beer Drinkers and Hellraisers every song. What was that? House of Pain that they never wanted to record. I mean, that sounds like it could be on fucking Rio Grande Mud.
Well, that was a very old song. That was Van Halen 1.
Right. It was recorded. It was done for the demo for the album. Yeah.
Yeah. And didn't come out till 6 albums later.
Right. Yeah. Well, I know that some of the songs on Van Halen 2 were also in. Well, Women in Love they rewrote, but I think it was Take Your Whiskey Home. There was an early version of that too, where it didn't have the slow. It just came right in with it just came in all heavy. Excellent. All right. Well, that's all. I got that out. But anyways, guys, if you haven't had a chance to listen to the album by Michael Schenker Group called MSG, it opens up with what the hell's the opening song? I can't remember, but Attack of the Mad Axemen's on it. On and On. On and On is probably the greatest heavy rock song from the 80s. I love it. Although, you know what? We didn't mention that Foreclosure of a Dream by Megadeth is Find Your Way Back by Jefferson Starship.
I gotta listen to that again.
Bam, 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 bam. Find your way back. It's the same. Everything's the same. All the licks, all the fills. And hey, I like to say it was a great call because that song by Starship was fantastic. Look, I'm all for, hey, listen, I learned how to play this song from 1979. I think I'm going to use it in my own song. It's called Foreclosure of a Dream. I go back to the Celebrations. Yes, I remember Celebrations. That used to be in the back of Narcissus. I don't think I ever went in there. It was like a heavy metal kind of thing. It wasn't my, Kenmore wasn't really my, I used to go to the Rathskeller. But when I was in Boston, like the metal stuff I never cared for. I used to like some of the alternative stuff. There was a band called Tribe that I liked. Anyways. What do you got for a list today, Joe?
Oh, I have had this open since last show. The 100 greatest metal guitarists.
Oh, well, we can't do 100.
Well, we could start wherever you say.
Go ahead, Matt. What was up?
I wanted to ask Joe, what is that flying V that is hanging To your right.
That's Schechter.
Oh, okay. Okay. I just always wondered. All
He
right,
showed it at
100
one of the shows.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I showed it like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. I didn't see that.
yeah.
You want me
It's
to
nice.
start at the 100, or you want me to start at 50? Where do you want me to start?
Where do you guys want to start? 25 is usually.
Yeah, I was going to say 25.
I can do no. Let's start at 50. We can do
All
it.
right, we'll
quick.
start at 50.
Oh,
Start
okay.
at 50. Number 50, Chris DeGarmo from Queensryche.
Okay. I mean, I don't know I don't know what he played and what Michael Wilton played, but I've been listening to Queensryche lately, and I think The Warning is an underrated album.
Well, now you have me wondering what 51 through 100 is now.
Well, that's why it's interesting, because there's a lot of guys here. We really should start at least from like 75.
Well, where did this list come from?
Well, Rudolph Schenker is on 78. It's on this website I found. There's just nothing but fucking lists.
Oh, all they do is make lists. It's
As long
like
as
They're awful. They're usually awful.
They're always awful. But just interesting. Just want to point out, number 51 is actually Zach Wild.
Oh,
hold on one second. Before we go any further, Matt, did you wrote down that Intemperance cigar? Did you ever find that?
Oh, I have not looked yet, but there is like a store called the Cigar Superstore that I was going to check into to see.
Because there's also another very good one in that same light category called the Henry Clay Warhawk. Fantastic. I had it the other day. I was like, man, I love this.
Is that the Aroma Craft too?
No, it's Henry Clay is the company.
Oh, okay.
Warhawk is the cigar.
Okay.
Hey now, Eric Johnson, welcome. All right, so 51 was who?
Zach
51
Wild.
is actually Zach Wild.
How does Chris DeGarmo get hired?
Yeah, I know.
And the funny thing is, like 52 is Kerry King.
Oh, God, he's awful.
Kerry King
I know.
doesn't make top 100.
I wouldn't put him in top 200.
So
Yeah.
Kerry King did a clinic for me at West LA Music. Did you
I
go
was
to that,
about-
Matt?
Yeah, did you see it? I saw it. I don't think you were there.
Literally,
was there.
one of the reasons I grew my fucking hair
At
back
West
then.
LA Music?
Yeah, all he did.
I was in the
sit there.
back. It was outside.
Yeah, he had.
And I was in the back with Peter, the guy who works with Brad Paisley.
Okay, because I was
And
with you.
so, yeah.
Because he just.
And he looked at me when he was playing and he goes, is this guy actually famous? He couldn't believe this guy, how bad he was at guitar. And they would having like little 13-year-olds come up and play his riffs. And he's like, that's it. I'm like, that's it?
Dude, that's all he did was have other people come up and play a riff from one of my songs, and he would sit there and just like give his critique on it. And it was like he didn't really play anything.
But he played a little bit and it wasn't good. It didn't sound any better.
No.
And you know who was there? Was Nick Bocott was the rep that was there
From
from
Grim
Marshall,
Reaper.
from the guitar player for Grim Reaper.
Well, he plays like he's got arthritis too. He's not.
The
fit.
two of
See
them.
in hell, my friend.
No, I think this is.
JJ French. No, Eddie Ojeda.
Oh my god.
Eddie Ojeda's number one.
Well, JJ was better than Eddie Ojeda. I
You
can tell you
know
that
who else
much.
is better than Eddie Ojeda? Kerry King.
Number 68 is John Sykes. I think he should be higher.
Holy shit. That's
Can you
way too
imagine
low.
that John Sykes is 68 and then you got Kerry King at 52?
Dude, that is criminal. That is just criminal.
I know. But
Sykes
but
might be
at number
might be in the
60
top 5.
Yeah,
I know.
I agree.
Number
I agree.
60, they got
Argument could be
John
made.
5. I think he's a lot better.
Oh, John.
Who?
Oh, yeah.
John
John
5.
5's awesome.
Corny.
What number is he at?
What?
What number is John 5?
John 5 is 60.
Oh, no way.
No. And
No way.
remember, he's 8 below Kerry King. That's the best part.
Oh my god.
So
Number
did Chris DeGarmo's mother write this list? Because she's like, listen, I love you, but the
No,
best
Kerry
I can
King's
give you is
mother.
50.
Have any of you guys ever seen Sykes live?
No.
I did.
That online.
I saw him with White Snake open when they were a 4-piece band, open for Quiet Riot at an arena, and he was.
They blew him off the stage.
Oh, he was awesome. Man.
He's a monster.
But it was when White Snake was a 4-piece, so they had Cozy Powell, Neil Murray, and John Sykes, and I was like, it would just blew my mind.
But, number 58 is one of my favorites. So Warren DeMartini. I liked him.
Yeah, well, he's much better than Chris
Oh.
DeGarmo. But
54 is another guitarist I always liked, the Kira Takasaki from Loudness.
Yes.
Walking whoa, crazy night.
That's the first song I ever heard from them.
You ever heard Disillusion? The album Disillusion?
No,
You guys, if
I
you-
heard. What was the one with Mark? It was
Man,
Mark
there's-
Teixeira
there's-
singing "Soldiers of Fortune." Was it? I heard.
This is like one of their first. This is like probably their fourth album.
I don't know
But
who
you-
made this list, but they're gonna end up getting killed by Dave. They're gonna get stripped down and sent out into the fucking woods.
stripped down
Listen,
naked.
chased down
Stop
with the
running.
shotgun.
All right,
Here comes-
number 49, Timo Tolkki from something called Stradivarius.
Oh, I've heard of them though. They're a progressive thing. I've never heard anything from them though.
Number 48, Mikhail Ackerfeld from Opeth.
I've heard of
47,
them.
Michael Amat from Arch Enemy and Carcass.
Geez, this is going to be all death metal in the top 50.
Yeah, this
Well,
thing's going
no,
to hell.
no, you think, but no, because this next one, I don't know how he's not higher. Number 46, Jerry Cantrell from Alice in Chains.
I think he's a good player. It's like
Number
I think
45.
he writes great songs.
Great
Number
player,
40
great writer. I don't know that he would make my top 25.
Real,
Yeah.
but okay.
Agreed.
Number 45, a guy I really love. I actually bought his signature when he was a Schecter artist. Is Jeff Loomis from Nevermore.
Oh, he's a wicked
also-
good,
and he's
wicked good
amazing.
player.
He's in Arch Enemy now. Here's another one I don't know. Number 44, Trey Azagdoff from Morbid Angel.
Morbid Angel.
How do you know that? Shit.
I actually know that he's actually
Okay.
not that bad.
Then
It's
we
like
have
for
number
death metal.
43, Ross Friedman from Man of War.
Hannibal, this is the best
Deal with
top
the man.
100 hard rock / metal guitar
No,
players.
it's just metal. It's a list of metal. It said.
yeah,
Top-
but
actually,
you've,
it's a
you've
top
already named
200.
guys that are not metal. So
I
how
know.
can you-
I didn't make the list.
Yeah, I don't
Num-
think of Sykes as a metal guitar
No.
player.
Number
Well, let's
40
take-
Hard,
Before we go on, let's take guesses who number one is on this list. I'm going to think
Well-
it's Tony Iommi.
Well, I know who it is, so I can't
Van
guess.
Halen.
Yeah, that might, but I don't consider that metal. But
I don't either, but I don't consider like Sykes. He's no more hard rock than Sykes. It's hard rock.
Yeah.
I mean, hard rock was metal back in the day until all of a sudden, Gorgoroth comes out and they're fucking burning down churches.
Number 42, Vito Bratta from White Lion.
not metal. I love his playing though.
I wouldn't say he's.
But he's better,
Well, they
according
would
to this,
consider
he's
metal.
better than John Sykes.
No, he's not Ben John Sykes.
It's his birthday today, folks. That's if he saw this list.
Number 41, Al Pitrelli from Megadeth and
He's a good
Trans-Siberian
player.
Orchestra and Sabotage.
But I don't know why he rates so high. There's so many others.
Number 40, Jake E. Lee.
I like Jake.
I like him, but I didn't.
I don't. I need to hear the rest of the guitar players before I figure out whether he's where he's supposed
Number
to be. or not.
39, Kurt Vanderhoof from Metal Church. Metal Church. Number 38, Chris Poland from Megadeth.
I love Chris Poland. I don't know if he should rate that high, but he's my. I'm going to take a lot of flack for this. He's my favorite Megadeth guitar player.
Yeah,
Number
you will.
30. Okay.
I like
Marty's
Chris.
so
Chris he's a great guy. He's I like Chris a lot. I don't know if I love him as a guitar player. In LA, he used to play around with his band Ohm. Did you ever see them,
Yeah.
Matt?
No.
He
And
has his own style.
it's like jazz, but it was good. Go on. Go,
Oh, I
go
thought
on
you
with
froze
this.
for a second. Okay, number 37. They just
No,
have
I
his
was-
name, but
Choppy.
but
though.
my brain keeps putting Fast as his first name. It's Eddie Clark from Motorhead.
No way.
Well,
Eddie Clark wrote the same riff on every fucking Motorhead song. Every song. Honestly, last week I listened to Ace of Spades, then I listened to Iron Fist, and then through Chuck's begging and pleading, I listened to Orgasmatron. All three
You didn't
albums.
like
To me,
Orgasmatron?
it's not as good as Iron Fist or Ace of Spades.
It's a great album, though.
It's good. It's a rock record. There's not a lot to it. It's the same riffs in every album. The guy plays guitar the same song every time. The two best songs on Iron Fist and Ace of Spades are the title track. They're the only songs that sound different. Everything else, it's like someone's pedaling A, and the guitar player plays C to D. And then the next song, the guy pedals E, and he plays G to A. It's the same fucking riff. It's just a different key. Go ahead.
Number 36, Chris Impellitteri.
He's actually a very good.
He's an amazing guitar
technical
player.
And I thought
I have
he
my own
improved.
thoughts.
Well, early on, I wasn't a fan. I thought he was pretty sloppy for what he was trying to do, but I've seen videos of him more recently, and he's not as sloppy when he plays fast. He does some really out there stuff.
Number 34.
Hold on a second.
Go ahead.
Is he better than Greg Howe?
No, I put Greg.
Is he better than Yngwie at it?
No.
Is he better than Vinnie Moore at it? Is he
No.
better? No, he's not. He's like he's an also ran in the neoclassical thing.
There's something he does 18th century. I can't remember what it is, and it's just phenomenal what he does on that song. And so he should get his props.
Number 34.
You mean like a rubber chicken? Here's your props.
That's all you're going to be able to
You're
get.
gonna
Pretty
be a
soon.
carrot top. Here's a rubber
blood
chicken and a hammer.
capsules and a rubber chicken. A whoopee cushion and a rubber chicken. Number 34. Ugh,
I need a rubber chicken.
Tom Morello, Rage Against the Machine.
Oh, God. They're just going to have a conniption.
Yeah, that's the one that I said, Dave, you're going to strip the guy down and throw him into the woods.
Here's the Morello. Listen, I love Rage Against the Machine's first album. I guess Tom Morello liked it so much he wrote it 3 times. Because every album's the same. They just said to Zach De La Rocha, you just come up with different lyrics. We're playing the same record. Okay. Then they do Audio Slave. And it's like, I didn't know Chris Cornell could be boring. Thank you, Tom Morello, for showing me how he can bore the piss out of me. They were the most blasé songs that Cornell sang. Someone the other day said to me, oh, I like Audio Slave. I'm like, what? Like it for what? Going to bed? It's boring.
Yeah.
Well, Like a Stone is pretty it's
like that.
whiny. It's whiny.
All right, number 33, James Murphy from Testament, Death, Obituary, and Disincarnate.
Well, he was a great player, but I don't
Where's
know if
Alex
he should rate
Skolnick?
that high. Yeah. He's the one that replaced him. And he
All right,
ended
go
up
on.
getting a brain tumor or something like that.
Number 32, Matthias Jabs from Scorpions.
I do
Great
love
player.
Matthias. I do love Matthias.
Number 31, Chris Oliver from Sabotage.
Here's my issue, though. Let me just say this.
With
Matthias may not be as technical as John Sykes, but Matthias took a band that was the Scorpions, that was a middle of the road, not very successful in the States, and brought them to what I think is legendary status. And I do think that Matthias had a lot to do with it because his playing was very hooky.
yeah.
And he was a good, I mean, Coming Home's a great lead thing. But again, he's not as good as a player as Sykes, but there should be some credit for how he blew that band up.
Number 30, Bill Steer from Carcass.
Never heard of him.
Number
The
29,
guy's last name is Steer, Steer,
Steer.
and the band's called
happened?
Carcass.
Everything disproves.
Okay, number
Oh, it's it.
29, Jeff Hanneman from
Oh,
Slayer.
shit. Here we go.
Well,
All
Jeff
right.
Hanneman's better than Kerry King.
Number 28, Michael Romeo from Symphony X.
He actually is. He's a good player. I don't know if he should be that high though.
Number 27,
Michael
I love-
Romeo, whatever, he should get credit for the Yngwie diet.
Yeah, he's a
Keeps
big
Didn't
guy.
he?
Yeah.
Didn't he balloon up nicely as the band got successful?
Second time it's done it.
It's like the guy was getting fatter every record.
Number 27, Vivian Campbell.
They're out of their fucking minds.
That
You don't
high.
like Vivian Campbell?
No, I like
think
him,
he's
but
a fine
that high?
player, but he doesn't belong that high on a list. He would be more in the 90s for me.
Okay.
And don't
number-
forget, I love the stuff he's on,
God damn it.
but he's
Except for Def Leppard.
Yeah.
Number 26, Wolf Hoffman from Accept and Solo.
I like Accept.
if you didn't say he was solo, I would have never known.
Hey, Dave.
Yeah.
3 times now, you guys all 3 have frozen up, and I've lost it. Do you know what might be going on there?
That would be your
We're fine.
whatever connect.
Maybe you got to reboot.
We hear you though.
Oh, really?
It could be your computer's doing an update in the background and it's just using up memory and it's freezing.
lost you again.
That's what I'm saying. What's that? But do you hear me?
Okay.
No.
No, we're fine.
Yeah.
And now let's start the top 25.
Who said that? Eric Johnson. I agree. Go ahead.
At
Top
number
25.
25 is James Hetfield from Metallica. Watch Dave. Just watch your face. It's fucking priceless.
It's fucking awful.
Number
James
20
Hetfield.
Great rhythm player, but
Yeah, but we're talking about.
He bends in tune better than Kirk Hammett.
Yeah, but Kirk
Number
Hammett doesn't belong on the
24.
list.
He's
KK
going to be
Downing.
on it. Though. I like KK.
I like
Shouldn't be
KK.
that high.
I think he should be right next to Glenn, wherever Glenn is.
Okay. Glenn's coming up. Number
Okay.
23, Andy LaRock from King Diamond and Death.
No.
Okay.
Okay. Number 22, Vinnie Moore from Solo, Alice Cooper, and UFO.
He's a great player. He plays with such a clean tone, too.
Okay. Number 21 is Tony McAlpine from Solo, Planet X, and Ring of
Love
Fire.
McAlpine.
Hold
He's
on one
good.
sec. Rick Grimm says, you guys are going to hate me. I'm only 50. Well, that's right around our age, but I love Joe Walsh, who doesn't.
Who fucking
Angus
doesn't?
Young, who doesn't.
Who doesn't?
Fast Eddie Clark. Well, I'm not in
I
love
like
with him,
him.
but he likes him. Ted Nugent. We love Nugent.
Love him.
I love
Nugent,
fucking Derek
the
St.
Nuge,
Holmes.
right?
And numerous other guys I can't think of. And to me, they were all metal. Yeah, that was metal when we were kids.
That yeah. When we,
You're
it
right.
was. It was.
Till
And
a
now
couple of
it's
guys
not.
put some bones through their nose and burnt down a church in Norway, and now metal is forever changed.
My father would call it
Unless
acid
you've got a
rock.
few murders under your belt, you can't call yourself. No, go on.
Number 20, John Petrucci from Dream Theater.
Great player, not on my list.
Number 19 is Jason Becker.
I love
He would be close to my top 5. He would be in my top 5
Yeah.
easily
Jason Becker?
when he was. Yeah,
Oh, geez. See, at 19, when he came out with Perpetual Burn, that
I don't think many-
It still is
technically-
unbelievable. When you listen to it now, it still is as amazing.
Yeah,
Mabel's
he's sick.
Fatal Fable. Is sick.
Matt, how's it going? Is it working?
It still keeps freezing up every like 30 seconds or so.
Oh, so what you could do is close your browser and click back in, and I'll just bring you right back in. It might just need to refresh your browser.
Hey, I'm half browser on my mother's side.
Number
Quit
18.
browsing.
You ready for 18?
We're browsing. That's right. Go ahead.
Number
God, it's
18
getting
is
warm in here.
Alex Skolnick.
Great player.
Well, he
Number
beat the other guy that replaced him.
Well,
Mm.
here comes number 17. And with the number of people that this guy has beaten and what we know that Dave thinks of him, how do you feel about George Lynch at 17?
Oh, God.
Well, I thank Christ.
Get
he
the
did. He put him in
shotgun.
the top 5. But I'm not a Lynch fan. Like, I think Lynch,
I love Lynch.
I know so many guys from the 80s loved him. I just didn't. I always felt like it would be nothing that I would ever want to play like. He's disjointed. Every song is fucking unchained. I'm just not. Let me. How's that, Matt? You back?
It's working so far. Yeah.
All right.
All right, I'm putting you back in your spot. Hold on, let me get Joe back in his. All right.
Okay. Number
There's the
16
story.
is Paul Gilbert.
Okay,
He should be
Gilbert could
higher.
For me.
He could be number one for me.
I don't know about it.
When I'm going to tell you who number 15
You're not a Gilbert fan?
is that
Oh,
beat
shit,
Paul
you just
Gilbert,
froze
it's
me.
going to blow your fucking mind. Beating
let
Paul
me-
Gilbert for the 15th spot
Carlos
is Kirk
Cavazo?
Hammett from Metallica.
Yeah.
I would have preferred Cavasso.
I don't think Kirk Hammett could fucking play as his tech.
I remember back in the 80s, or 80s and guitar, whatever the fucking magazine was at the time, every year, solo of the year was Kirk Hammett. And I'm like, what? No.
Right. Yeah.
Coming in at number 14, Dave Mustaine.
Or like Dave.
Doesn't rank that high, but yeah, we all love Dave, but it's like I don't
Yeah,
think
he's
he should
not-
rate that high.
No.
And once again, knowing where this list came from, it's no surprise that at number 13, Chuck Schulnider from Death.
Yeah, they always got to throw Death in there. And hey, how about the
I don't
guitar
care.
player from Saxon? Where was he?
Well, okay. Number 12, Dimebag Darrell, Pantera.
I love Dimebag, but he shouldn't be that high. Not with all the players out there.
Number 11, one of
He's
my
top
favorites, is Dave Murray from Iron Maiden.
Dave Murray. Doesn't belong.
That high though?
No?
He'd be not for me, he'd be top 50.
Okay. Sam.
I mean, I love what he does, but I mean, we're talking about I don't know what the part of the problem is. What is the criteria for this list? that
Well,
they
that's
come
the
up
thing.
with?
I always feel they start with criteria and then it gets thrown away to what's a popularity contest.
Well, it can't
For the
be
death metal
popular.
count.
It can't be like on record sales because we wouldn't see
No,
bands
it's
like
not.
Morbid Angel, Carcass, Death. Those guys wouldn't be on any list. So it has to be whoever Chris DeGamo's mother was.
Eric Johnson said Dime should be number one.
All right. Number 10.
He's good.
We're hitting the top 10. Beating out Dave Murray is Glenn Tipton from Judas Priest.
Now, I was reared on Glenn Tipton. Like, for me, he was the shit for me growing up. Him and Michael Schenker and Matthias and Uli. And I love him, but he'd probably be in the top 30 for me.
Okay. Beating him out, and he's sandwiched between two Maiden guitarists. At number 9, Adrian Smith.
So what I do like about this list is they are at least recognizing Adrian Smith as the better guitar player than Dave Murray.
And a lot of people don't do that.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree. I think they should be next to each other on any list. And it's just a preference of, do you like the legato style or more of the bluesy type playing? But they're both very good.
Coming
Yeah,
in
I
at
think
number
Murray's
8
excellent.
is Uli John Roth.
Ooh, he made the list.
Not model.
Uli would be in my top 5.
I'm surprised he's on this list. I thought they'd overlook him completely.
Beating out Uli for the 7th spot is Marty Friedman from Megadeth.
Marty's great.
Yeah, Marty's a phenom.
The solo to Skin of My Teeth in Megadeth it just makes me happy. Every
To
note
me, it's
Marty plays,
Tornado
and
of
I'm
Souls.
like, no, it's the one in Skin of My Teeth because he plays all that. I was always really into the guys that did the chromatic stuff, and there's like a lot of chromatic bluesy thing going on in that thing. Every time I hear it, I'm just like, this motherfucker just kills that solo. So fucking good.
He is good.
I wish his tone was better, though. The tone on that record, everyone sounds like they're playing through like a little transistor radio.
Is it an electric ham sandwich?
Yeah, exactly.
Number 6, the MS from MSG, Michael Schenker.
He's
That
not
high,
better than
though?
Uli. He's not better than Uli. He's not
No.
better than Matthias. But I love him. Again, top 30 for me.
We're at top 5.
Okay.
Coming in at number 5, Steve Vai.
He's not really metal.
Well, I guess
Whoever
you
did
could
this
say-
list is high.
Yeah,
No,
At no point in his career will I ever consider him close to metal.
Okay. Coming
Well,
in.
he's a hard rock player. Played with David Lee
Yeah.
Roth. I mean, I just think his tuning, his bends, and everything else. I don't love him.
And what the heck are they going to put
Matt,
Joe
what about you on
Satriani
that?
on here now?
I used to be a big fan anymore. I'm just kind of, over it. I mean, he definitely has his own thing and he sounds like him. You can't deny that.
Mhm.
But, it's one of those things that it's kind of like Ingve. Once you've heard it so long, you kind of get bored with
You
it.
got to
Yeah.
be in the mood for it, right?
Well, let me just say this about Steve Vai: flexible, passion, and
leftovers.
warfare.
Yeah.
And
What else
passion
do you?
warfare.
That's it.
What do you need?
Yep.
Yeah.
That was the Bible. That would be the
Oh,
equivalent.
Alien
of,
Love
and
Secrets I do like too.
Matt and I
the
talked
Ingve.
about this. Like people talk about Ingve. Like the first 3 records are good. Trilogy I really liked, but at the end of the day, you could throw them all away and just listen to Alcatraz. That's all you needed because that's the best stuff he has. It's the best example, and he doesn't play anything better in any record following.
In my opinion, personally, for me at least, I think one of the greatest live albums of all time is Live Sentence.
That's unbelievable.
He's fucking on fire.
When he plays Evil Eye in Live Sentence, it's incredible when the audience he pause. I mean, it's just nuts.
Yeah.
He's great.
Coming in at number 4 is Richie Blackmore.
Get the fuck.
Well,
I was listening to Deep Purple today.
I love
There's
Blackmore.
a song called Rap Bat. Is it Rap Bat Blue?
Rap Bat 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 Baloo.
Oh, it's fantastic. But the keyboard solo in that song, John Lord. If that was a guitar, that would be one of the best.
John Lord was unbelievable.
He's on. It sounds like Flight of the Bumblebee when he's playing in the thing, but it's to the song.
The best. If you ever want to laugh your ass, what's that?
That was my WhatsApp.
If you ever want to laugh your ass off, there's an interview out there with John Lord just talking about Deep Purple songs and the lyrics.
Yeah.
You would think the guy doesn't like a single fucking song because that's kind of stupid when you think about it. I don't know what they were thinking. That we could have written about, and these are the classic songs.
Yeah.
But he was there to play that organ. He made that fucker rock. Okay.
Lord is amazing.
Number 3.
Iommi, Rhodes, and Van Halen gonna be.
No, but you're very close. As Meatloaf would sing, don't be sad. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Okay, number 3, Randy Rhoads. I fucking love him. I got no problem with that. I may put him in, higher, but number 2.
I won't be mad if Ingve's number 2.
Number 2, the man also who sometimes is known with the middle initial J, Yngwie J. Malmsteen.
I knew it was coming
Number
because
2.
once they put Randy there, I'm like, the only one they're going to have beat him out next to him would be another neoclassical guy that came out shortly after him.
Now, where the fuck is Iommi and Van Halen?
That's one of them is number 1.
If you have a list of heavy metal, where would you put the godfather of heavy metal?
Number 1.
You got
Number 1, Tony Iommi.
So now where'd they put Van Halen?
I don't think he's on the list. Let me do a Control F right here. Or
now, if they put Brada on there, if they put Vi on there, they put all these rock guitar players. I mean, how does
Let me know where Billy Gibbons is.
The only Eddie and the only Van on this list is not either. Not Eddie Van Halen. Who are you saying?
Billy Gibbons. I'm just joking.
Wait, let's see. You never know.
God, this list is a joke. I mean, seeing all the guitar players that they did put in the list and leaving Van Halen out. Are you kidding?
So it's also a
and this is the
popularity.
top 200 list.
It is a popularity contest in the fact that, like, look, I love Iommi.
Mhm.
There's no getting around Iommi. There's no getting, but you can't tell me that he's a better player than Randy Rhoads was.
No, he's not.
Forget about Yngwie, because I think Yngwie was, if we're talking about technical prowess, when Yngwie came out, everybody was just like, hike the fucking football. We're done. It's all over. The war's over.
Again, we don't
shit
know
and go
the
home.
we don't know the criteria. So
No, but when Yngwie came out with fucking no parole for rock and roll. Everyone was like, "That's it. I'm taking my ball and going home." It was devastating. It was like, wait a second. Because if you remember this, now a lot of people, if you're younger, you may not. Matt, you definitely will. If you remember, around that time, Gary Moore had come out with End of the World. That ripping solo in End of the World. And everybody thought that was like the craziest lead guitar bit.
Off of Corridors of Power. What was that, 83?
Corridors of Power, yeah. But then Yngwie, like literally a week or so later, releases fucking that Alcatraz album, and it's like, yeah, Gary, hike the football. You're done. We got this guy's gonna. Although Thunder and Lightning came out in '83, and the solo Sykes plays on Thunder and Lightning is nothing to fuck. I mean, that's sick.
Well, technically, Yngwie's a much better guitar player than Gary Moore, but the better guitar player between the two, in my opinion, is Gary Moore. He plays it. He can play jazz fusion.
Well, I think he's a more rounded player.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He does it.
And if I wanted a guy in a band, I'm putting a dream band together where I got to produce a record, I would not want Yngwie in there because Yngwie's a one-trick fucking pony. The thing was, when Alcatraz came out, that trick hadn't been out yet.
Yeah.
Once you see how the trick is done because somebody on Fox exposed the magician, then it's done. There's no more doing the trick. Once you know that the fucking Vanishing Man is twin brothers, there's no trick.
Hey, do you remember that hearing aid bullshit?
We're stars.
Yeah, so there's a clip I've seen where George Lynch is talking about all the other guitar players, how everyone was just like shitting their pants because of Yngwie. And it's like you see the Michael was it St. Hubbins from Spinal Tap? He's like, this Yngwie J. Malmsteen person. I like how he puts the J to distinguish himself from all the other Yngwie Malmsteen.
I remember.
Might as well, make your guitar into a coffee table now because you're not gonna.
But he really was when he came out. It was devastating.
Yeah,
I remember.
And I'll tell you, guys who held their own were in the restroom. No, the guys who were Neil Sean. Neil Sean's a player. In that video, you could see he was a player. I thought Buck Dahmer sounded great. He was doing his own thing, didn't want to be the most impressive guy. That was one of the things that turned me off to Vivian Campbell. Watching Vivian play, I was like, I'll imitate Uli Roth. You play with no precision. There was nothing precise.
When did Uli Roth say that?
That was at a private party that I was at. He was talking to a guitar player that
Warren DeMartini, I think it was.
Yes.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
Warren, you play with no precision. Yeah, it's like they just play as fast as they can. I used to call it when people played with nervous speed. Like the hands aren't really working in concert together. They just kind of and that's how Vivian played in that video. And when I was a kid, I was like, I could do that. But when you watch Yngwie, it's like, I want to know how to do that. I thought Lynch was actually pretty good in that video.
Yeah.
I thought he was pretty good.
Solo.
What is it?
I can't remember his solo.
I think my favorite solo from that whole thing is actually the guy from Blue Oyster Cult.
Buck Dahmer.
Yeah,
I said Buck Dahmer he did his own thing, and it sounded musical. And I also thought who was pretty good was Eddie Ojeda. I'm joking. He was horrendous.
Oh my goodness!
Was Buck Dahmer on the list?
No.
Anywhere?
But
Goldie was good in the Stars video too. Craig Goldie, I thought, was excellent too. Again, he wasn't trying to play. I don't think he matched Yngwie. He was definitely playing a neoclassical style, but much slower. Yngwie is just sheer impressive, And I'm not an Yngwie guy. Like I like him, but I don't go listening to his records. I just think that, when you watch him in the G3 thing when it was Vai, Satriani, and Yngwie, Vai, when he plays live, it's like, I'm bending a note. Here's if I hit the note. Yngwie always bends in tune. He plays flawlessly. And something about him I just enjoy. I just would never go out and buy any more records, anything past Trilogy.
Oh yeah, his recent albums are terrible.
Now, in case you're interested, you got to get off that Tinder, Dave.
No, this is, remember when we had Erin Ann on the show?
Yep.
So this is Erin Ann. So Erin Ann is doing carnivore. And she was complaining to me about being hungry all the time.
She doing it right?
Oh, yeah. And I kept yelling at her, bump your fat, bump your fat, bump your fat. So now she starts telling me about all different things that are happening in her body that are great, that happen because of fat. And so she's like, oh, by the way, I stepped on the scale. I'm down 7 pounds. She's fucking 6 days in.
What is that noise?
That's her messaging me on WhatsApp.
Oh.
Hold on, I'm going to tell her. I'm doing my live.
Was I here when she was on? I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's the goodbye girl.
Oh.
Sings goodbye at the end.
Now, right to the left, I clicked on the link that said 100 greatest rock guitarists. Do we dare go there?
Do we want to hit 100?
Well, tell me.
Ace Frehley, not the
start
great. Well, let's just see what Rick Grimes says. He says Grimes.
Rick Grimes.
I guess the 3 is an E. I forgot to mention Ace Frehley, not the greatest player. He had a lot. Yeah, I mean, I think Ace was great. I enjoyed the first 3 Kiss albums like crazy.
Well, he would.
Once we get to Destroyer, I'm like, if you're not gay or 12 years old, you will not connect with that album. I mean, honestly, when I was a little kid, Destroyer was fantastic. I listened to it now, and it's like
my favorite album.
You listen to it now, and it's you watch me play guitar, and you wish it's like
expectations.
It's like, gee, shut the box.
Not every
Flaming
song
Youth.
is a hit.
Flaming Youth.
Oh, cool.
Tomorrow. Was Tomorrow and Tonight on that record? No, King of the Nighttime World. Oh.
You really
like that song.
My limousine. Do you
love me? I hate that whole record except for Sweet Pain.
And I just like when Gene goes solo on that.
Oh, he does on the resurrected version. When Gene does that in the beginning, it almost sounds like remember the Yankee Doodle and Chopper.
Why is that
the cartoon? He would go, Yankee. Chopper. And the little bird would be like, well, anyone, if they remember, that's what Gene sounds like he's doing. He's doing Chopper on Sweet Pain. Yankee. You guys remember Yankee Doodle?
I remember it, but I don't at the same time. It's like I remember.
All right, let's hear this list, Joe. Let's hey Janice, hold on a second. I gotta take let me stand up for a second because I gotta get rid of this jacket. It is like 1,000 degrees. I get the window open and it's so hot.
Yeah, hot because you're wearing a fucking hat.
Well, the hat's not making me hot. I'm sweating in my back.
You warm.
I don't know if I subscribe to that. All right.
Yeah, by the way, Dave's down to 191 now.
Yeah, 191. 191.
I'm looking at this list and my eye caught number 76 and I'm angry already.
Oh, excellent. That better be Eddie Vedder.
No, I'm telling you right now. I'll just hit 78's Buckethead. 76 is the Reverend Billy Gibbons.
Now this is rock guitar players of all time?
Guitar. 100 rock guitars. Coming in at 75, one of my all-time favorites is Leslie West.
All right, can we just jump to number 1 real quick and get Jimi Hendrix out of the way?
You gave it away without really giving it away.
Well, everyone knows.
Every asshole list has Hendrix at number 1, and I want to say this because I was watching the other day. I'm like, let me see if I can find a live Jimi Hendrix concert so I can watch this guy play because I'm always a little hard on him saying, and I realized I wasn't hard on him at all. He does not deserve to be number 1. He was good for his time, but it wasn't a good time. I don't like it. I'm not a fan.
Okay,
people are like, I think like I don't know. I just think like there were guys that came out a couple of years later that were doing it better.
Well, beating out Paul Gilbert, Billy Gibbons, Leslie West, Alvin Lee is The Edge at number 73.
No. What is it based on?
I don't know. But beating
Now, don't
out
get me
the
wrong.
Edge
I think I love what the Edge does. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I think it's really clever with all the effects to play and come up with landscapes for those songs is really cool. But it doesn't make you a great guitar player. It makes you,
you know
a great
what would be
producer.
good? Why don't you call out names and I'll find where they are on the list instead of going from number to number.
Why don't we say who do you think are the most overrated guitarists?
I clearly think it's Clapton,
Eric Clapton,
and Hendrix.
I was going to say Slash as well.
Slash completely.
And
Kirk Hammett,
Carlos Santana.
The worst.
Just never. It's like he's got a backup band and he just noodles around. The guy doesn't even play a chord ever. It's like I'm going to have this big backup band. I'm just going to noodle around and that's it. He's like so overrated.
It's like BB King.
I think he's one of the worst guitar players that ever has fame. Is Santana.
Yeah. Agreed.
Janice, his name is Matt. New face. People are wondering who you are.
Oh, okay.
Matt's a buddy of mine. I played guitar in the LA area, and now he's in the Florida area for those of you visiting downtown Tampa. No, I'm just kidding. All right, go on.
Wait, I'm saying hello to Janice.
Where is Santana can't be on that list. He would nenever make my top 100 list.
72, we got Johnny Marr from the Smiths.
Great player.
70 and 71, we got Hetfield and Kirk Hammett. They don't tell you which is which. 68, 69, they lumped together Dave Murray and Adrian Smith.
Which is what I would do. I wouldn't put them at that era, but they're interchangeable. They're like, it just depends on which guy's style you like better.
67, John Petrucci. 66, Neil Schon. 65, Steve Lukather.
I love
that.
Luke.
Well,
I don't think there are 10 guitar players better than Luke.
63 and 64 getting lumped together is Glenn Tipton with KK.
Okay.
62, Mick Ronson, Spiders from Mars.
And he's better than so far everyone else we've named.
61, Andy Summers from the Police. Number 60.
How is he better than?
He's not even better than Sting on guitar.
Listen, keep in mind, Billy Gibbons is up at 76. So that should tell you what
Andy
Andy
Summers is better than Billy Gibbons.
Oh my God, Warren.
He's not even better than Sting.
Number 60, Warren Haynes.
He's a great player.
I like Warren. He's a good player. I don't know that he's a great player, but he's good.
Would you say he's better than number 59? Slash?
Slash is 59?
Slash is 59.
Yeah, he would be 159 on my list, but still,
I'm surprised he's that low on the
I'm glad to see him that low on the list or that high.
Number
on the
58. List. I love this guy, Tommy Bolin.
He was good. I don't
57. Another guy I love, Rory Gallagher.
Saw him play.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, he opened for Rush.
Wow. Cool. Number 56, Eddie Hazel, Funkadelic.
I like Eddie Hazel. I don't know. I don't think he's my favorite player in Funkadelic. I like the solo Paul Warren plays. I liked Michael Hampton. That's a tough one. He gets a lot of love because he also co-wrote that song. What the hell's the name of that song? I forget it.
You want the funk?
No, it's a song called it's the guy who does I can't remember his name. Forget it.
Who do you like better, Eddie Hazel or Jimmy Hazel?
I like Jimmy Hazel better.
Number 55, Terry Kath from Chicago.
Great player.
Fantastic player.
53
underrated.
and 54.
Underrated. Which is hard to find because it's hard to find an underrated player. He's underrated, Terry Kath.
53 and 54 is Thurston Moore and Lee Ronaldo from Sonic Youth.
Fuck me blind.
I love Oh God. Number 52, Frank Zappa.
Not a great player. He's his own unique player.
He's a great musician. I'll give him that.
He was a
But I
great
wouldn't-
composer.
I like listening to his guitar playing though, if that means anything.
No, I mean, stuff like Black Napkins is cool. But could you imagine if instead of him recording it, they gave it to someone that was a little bit more savvy?
Technically proficient.
Not even technically.
We're
I mean,
about
like
to
Billy
hit the
Gibbons
top.
even.
We're about to hit the top 50. We're getting there. Number 51, Curtis Mayfield.
That's absurd.
Starting at number 50.
And
Bo
I love
Diddley.
Curtis. I love the. That's even more absurd.
Is this a blues list or a rock list?
Well, number 49, Hank Marvin.
Fuck
shadows.
off. Hank Marvin. Why are people so fucking like? No.
I put the guys in Ventures over Hank Marvin.
Yeah, it's the same band. Sound the damn same. Who could tell them apart?
I think Ventures were better.
Probably.
Number 48 is Sean Lane.
Oh, what a great fucking player.
Yeah. And he should be.
Phenomenal.
He's unbelievable.
Yeah.
But the weird thing is they have an asterisk next to his name. I don't know why. Okay. Number 46, Cliff
Because
Gallup.
he bet on concerts.
I get that. He'll never make the Hall of Fame.
He was gambling on concerts. It's a fucking great joke.
I got it.
Joe, where are you on that?
I didn't get it.
You know, like when Pete Rose, anytime you see Pete Rose, will have an asterisk next to his name because he gambled on.
Oh,
So that's why they won't let him into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I think that's retarded. But okay.
Oh, no,
47,
Pete Rose, yeah. But my joke was spot on.
47, Dickie Betts.
Now let me just say this. If Dwayne Allman scores better than Dickie Betts, I'm finding out who made up this list and going to kill him.
I gotta look it up now. Let me do a.
I am so sick of people putting Dwayne on a pedestal. The guy's on 3 of the records, and I think the better playing was Dickie. Played some tough stuff.
Well, okay, you're going to be pissed.
Oh,
All right. Where did I leave off? What number?
it was Dickie Betts.
Okay, Dickie Betts was 47. 46 is Cliff Gallup from Gene Vincent's Blue Caps.
Bebopalula. He's an influential guitar player, but I don't know.
Yeah, he influenced me to stop listening to that record.
Number
I knew
45,
Joe. I knew I'd get you.
coming over from the heavy metal list, Marty Friedman. Better than Marty Friedman. And at number 44 is Jerry Garcia.
We love Angus, Rick. In fact, I used to do
Did you just hear this one?
Akadaka Fridays. I love Angus.
I was just waiting for Dave's reaction to that. but
Wait, say that again. I'm sorry.
I said coming in at number 44 and better than Marty Friedman is Jerry Garcia from the Grateful Dead.
Yeah. Boy. You know what I always hated? When you tell someone how much you hate the Dead and they're like, but Jerry's a great player. Oh, is he? Yeah, I wouldn't know because the music sucks.
Oh my goodness. Number 43, Dick Dale.
Oh, do not care for Dick Dale.
42,
I like some of
Lonnie
his
Mack.
stuff. Blues player.
The overrated Lonnie Mack.
Yeah.
These old
41.
blues guys, everyone's on their balls. You go listen to one of the records and you're like, wait, what? Why are we talking about him?
41, Jimmy Nolan.
Who the hell's Jimmy Nolan?
From
He
the
played
JDs,
guitar
Johnny
from-
Otis Band, Maceo and the
from
Old
Jim
Kings
Brown.
Men.
He was the guitar player for James Brown.
Number 40, Link Ray.
Was
Three
Link Ray the
chords.
guy that did Rumble?
Yeah.
That's the one song. The guy has one fucking song.
39.
Gang, gang, gang.
Number 39 is James Burton.
Play it, James. I love James. Great player, but he's a country player. Not a rock
For
player.
Elvis, though.
Well, but you know what? They list him as Ricky Nelson, Elvis, and session work. And if you're going to consider Elvis rock, you got to consider him rock, right?
Well, back then, country rock, and country rock was country.
Now they list the next three are all listed together: 36, 37, and 38. We got Joe Messina, Robert White, and Eddie Willis, the Funk Brothers.
Wow. Okay. No.
35, guy I love, Gary Moore.
Great player.
Love him.
Okay.
34, once again, the MS from MSG is Michael Schenker.
Wow. Okay.
I
I don't
wouldn't say
know
he's
that
better
Michael
than Gary
Schenker's
Moore.
as good a player as Gary Moore.
No,
Oh.
not even close.
No.
You know what thing about Gary Moore is his playing is super interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Even his like not just his rock stuff, but even his like blues stuff. He comes up with licks. I'm like, I was doing a lesson with a student of mine. We were doing "You Don't Love Me" by the Allman Brothers, and I said, let me just hear. I know Gary Moore does it live. Let me hear. And then we were like, oh, we got to learn this solo. And man, it was the most peculiar, greatest sounding like leads that he played. It's really cool. I think he's a great player.
You
I
know,
didn't think he was a great player.
when he
blows
came
my
out with
mind.
that first blues album, Still Got the Blues, I ended up buying it, and there's certain moments on it. He's playing with Albert King. Albert King's he's got this weak tone, and it's like, and then Gary just comes in and just shits all over his cornflakes. It's like friggin'.
Yeah, but the only thing I didn't like about "Still Got the Blues" is it's "Hello" by Lionel Richie, right?
Yeah.
It's "Hello." It's basically he's playing the Lionel Richie parts.
It's Hello without the ugly bust.
Yeah, but whatever.
It's,
Who hurt you, Lionel?
To recap, number 34 was Michael Schenker. Number 33 is Uli John Roth.
Well, they got that right. He's better than Schenker.
I knew you would say that. That's why I couldn't wait to get to that one.
But
Well,
Uli is
they-
also a fucking great player. He's way higher than that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Coming in at number 2 is Randy Rhoads.
Number 2 or number 3?
He was number 12 on the other. Coming in on 32. Sorry.
This
32
list-
Randy Rhoads. Make this list.
list is not precise.
No.
No.
Well,
Hold on a
beating
second,
out
guys, because
Randy-
I have to hit the facilities for 1 second. So continue, and I'll be
Go
right back.
Yeah, yeah, da, 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 yeah, da, 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 da,
I gotta take.
da. Continue, Joe.
Man.
Without Dave?
Yeah,
There's
he
a-
says.
No,
he
but
says
number
continue.
31 is going to make him pissed. I do the list to get Dave's reactions.
Well, tell us, and then we can talk about, and you can mention when
well-
he comes back.
Number 31 plays from the Beatles,
George Harrison.
George Harrison.
I'm a George Harrison fan, and I don't regard him as a great guitar player.
There is a couple of players that I'm thinking of that should be on the list, but I'm just still waiting to see if they pop up. But, we'll wait for Dave to empty his bag. And
Well, I'll agree with what Dave says. You know, the best guitar player in the Beatles was probably Paul McCartney. So it's like,
how long have you guys known Dave?
I've known him since 2018, like 4 years. Got to know him online. He turns out he's just down the road from me
Oh, cool.
in south of
yeah.
Boston.
I think I've known him a little over a year.
Oh, okay. I've known him about
I
20
met him on Instagram.
He when he used to come by the bar I worked at the door at, this other guy that worked there with me, he used to call Dave the Lifeline, because whenever he'd stop by and talk to us, he would be like, if I'm ever on that game show where Dave has where you get to call somebody for the answer to a question, I'm going to call Dave. Because he remembers like who won it, what movie won every Academy Award from like the beginning until now.
Yeah.
So, Dave, you remember Jess King used to call you the Lifeline?
Yeah, the Lifeline.
Yeah.
Totally.
Well, just to give the recap, Dave, 34, Michael Schenker, 33, Willie John Roth, 32, Randy Rhoads, 31, George Harrison.
All right. Hold on a second. Now let me
He's
just.
getting the shotgun. He's getting the shotgun.
Here's what becomes annoying to me. Look, I understand the Beatles assholes are all like, well, Harrison was in the Beatles. Listen, he couldn't fucking take a piss without fucking getting written consent from Lennon. Those guys ran the show, Lennon and McCartney. He's just a guitar player that was okay in the band. He was fine. You know what's amazing to me? You look at him and you think of what he was as a guitar player. He's okay. He was in the fucking Beatles, big deal. However, who's the piano player that played on fucking Bridge Over Troubled Water? Nobody knows the fucking guy's name. The guy's 10 times the piano player that George Harrison is a guitar player, and this motherfucker's 30 on the list. Fuck you, Beatles fans. I'm a Beatles fan. I'm just saying McCartney was the best guitar player in that band. It's that simple.
Dude,
Look, you don't ask McCartney to play the solo on Taxman when you wrote the song yourself, unless the guy's the better player. There isn't and I'll just say this, there isn't a solo Harrison plays that compares to Maybe I'm Amazed that McCartney played on McCartney's first album. There just isn't. So McCartney better be higher up on this list or this guy's getting the shotgun treatment.
Oh, my God. Well, let's start
We're
the top
stripping him
30.
down. He's going to run in the
that,
woods, and we're hunting him like an animal.
With that, let's start the top 30, because when we get to the top 10, I'm just going to start recording Dave, just to, Number 30, Keith Richards, Rolling Stones.
Here's my problem. I love Keith. I love him. He's an important player. He's more important than Harrison. Harrison, we want you to play this on this song like this. Actually, you know what? We're not going to have you on this song. Keith was the song. I like Keith. 30, not quite. I mean, he could be 30.
Higher or lower? Where would you put him?
Well, he'd be higher, but I mean, some of these guys would have to shift down. Like, are you going to tell me that he's a better player than Billy Gibbons? You couldn't even say it with a straight face.
Coming in at number 29, Mark Knopfler, Dire Straits.
He's a better player than Billy Gibbons?
No, not in my opinion. I love him, but I love Billy. I love me some ZZ Top all day, every day.
Yeah. I heard a Dire Straits song the other day, and I was like, wow, this is a song you never hear on the radio. And after the song was over, I'm like, I know why. Oh my, terrible. It sounds like everything sounds like Sultans of Swing back then. Down to the Waterline. Every song just sounds like it's Sultans of Swing with different lyrics.
Number 28, Alex Lifeson, Rush.
I like him.
Number 27.
I like him.
Not sure if I'm pronouncing it. Jan Ackerman.
Focus.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's actually not bad. But
yeah, he's not a bad player, but
yeah, I mean, but from the song Hocus Pocus.
All right. Number 26.
That's the trick. Can anybody in the chat name another song by Focus without looking it up?
I don't even know if I've ever heard anything by them.
Abracapocus. Well, you've heard
Hocus Pocus. Oh, yo, 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 yo.
It's in almost every friggin' movie too. It's like
okay.
Actually, I think Gary Hoey did a better version of it.
Really?
Didn't he do Focus?
Yeah, he did that. He did.
Yeah. I saw him on
that. I saw him on that tour. He opened up for Brian May when I went to go see him.
Coming in at 26, Phil Keaggy from Glass Harp.
Phil Keaggy, he's a jazz player.
Well, he's an acoustic player too, and
yeah, he's a killer jazz player. It's like I don't know why he's on rock guitars.
Let's hit the top 25 now, starting with Steve Hackett from Genesis.
Hackett the Bits.
Hackett's a good player. Is he a great player? I don't know. You know, I struggle with old Genesis, whether it's brilliant or terrible. And I mean that. Like, I think Watcher of the Skies is good, but every other song I'm like, I don't know if I like this one. It's like this good and then it's terrible. Although Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, those guys hit it on the head. If they just had a decent producer and had that recording sound better, that album would have been one of the biggest albums of the 70s. But because Gabriel sounds underwater, the record is just not a great produced record.
All right. Getting number 24, Roy Buchanan.
No. Just no.
Number
He's a blues
23, Danny Gatton.
I love Danny
Country-
Gatton.
Great
But
country
he's-
player.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Great country
Number
player.
22, missing from the heavy metal list, was Joe Satriani.
My point about Danny Gatton is he's a great fucking country player. I don't think he's as good as Brent Mason,
No.
but Brent Mason wouldn't be on this list either because he's country.
Yeah.
Why do they have the one guy who went across him over because he died? All right. This is Jonathan Edwards with Crossing Over. Never mind.
Brent Mason is on the list as an honorable mention.
No way.
Yes.
You've got to be fucking kidding me.
Honorable mentions.
a fucking
Guitarists
monster.
who arguably qualify as rock guitarists. However, the impact they've had in relationship to rock guitar is undeniable in no particular order. And it starts off with Stevie Ray Vaughan. But Brent Mason's on the list.
Yeah, Steve Ray Vaughan's more of a rock player than Danny Gatton is.
Yeah.
Go on.
But let me get back to the
Wait, it was just Brent Mason and Stevie Ray Vaughan?
no, there's a whole list of people that are
All right, we'll
honorable
get back to
mention.
that.
Let me get all
That
the way
honorable
back
mention
up.
list might be my list.
We had Satriani at 22.
No.
21.
Hold on a second.
Go ahead.
Doesn't make my top 100. Where are you with
You're
him?
Here comes a rant.
hard on him, man.
Matt,
Here
where
comes
were
a
you
rant.
on Satriani?
I liked him when he first came out, but then it got to be a little formulaic, and I was kind of like, I'm kind of
Yeah.
sick of the whole like my guitar is the vocal melody kind of thing, and it just wore thin. So I haven't listened to him for a long time.
All right. Where would he be on your
I'm with
list?
you.
He would definitely not be in my top 10 or even probably top 20.
All right. That's fair.
Okay. Number 21, Eric Johnson.
I love Eric Johnson.
Now we're hitting the top 20.
I like Cliffs of Dover.
I like
about
Trademark. Trademark's great.
20, Steve Morse.
Zap.
I like
Steve
Steve
Morse, great
Morse.
player.
Steve Morse. Love Steve
Yeah.
Morse.
Great player. Now there's a
seen him
guy
like
who's
5
country,
times.
but he's rock, and he definitely fits in with the rock. I mean, I fucking loved well, he's played with
Kansas.
Kansas, he's filled in with Deep Purple, but he's also and his solo records are good.
Yeah.
Filled in with Deep Purple. He's the longest standing guitar player with Deep Purple since like
That's what I
90.
mean.
Yeah.
You want to hear some great Steve Morse, like get High Tension Wires. That's got some.
Oh yeah. I saw that tour.
What did you do with your
Providence.
Steve Morse guitar? Did you ever sell that?
Me, yeah. Eventually.
Yeah, I remember you had a Steve Morse Music Man.
Yeah, I got rid of all the signature guitars.
Ah, okay. Going on, Joe?
Number 19, Yngwie J. Malmsteen.
Good thing you put that J in there.
Otherwise.
Not to get confused with the other ones. Yeah.
Okay, go on.
Number
I
18,
don't-
Steve Vai.
It's starting to look like the other list, only with them.
Yeah, I don't
a
know
little
that I
lower
would
than
put
them.
Vi better than Yngwie. Although like I said, Vi, and there was those first two records, because you're really comparing two albums to two albums.
Yeah.
All right, go on.
Number 17, Steve Cropper.
They're giving Steve Cropper higher, and that's just because he played on shit like Son of a Preacher Man and all the Memphis shit. But I mean,
Midnight Hour.
Oh, just to mention something, David.
I was naming good songs.
If you ever want to hear and still this solo is just amazing. Steve Vai played on an album with Public Image Limited, and it's just
I've got it.
And the very last song is called Ease, and he does a solo at the end of that song that's just like his best solo of all time.
Really?
Yeah, it's
And is Johnny Lydon singing on it?
yeah, and
I love Johnny Lydon.
I think he would even say that himself. It sounds like he just did it, but it's like just like I used to put the needle back on that record and just listen to that solo over and over, man. It's
That
just,
album was on my honorable mention for best albums of 1986.
Yeah.
Yeah, he mentioned Petrucci already, Snowball. Go ahead.
Number 16, Pete Townsend from The Who.
So, no.
No.
But Pete, listen, you go watch the Who live at Leeds or any of the live shit. Pete's impressive.
Mhm.
He's just playing like a super loud amp, decked out, and he makes it sound good. I mean, he's not doing anything terribly fancy, but I think he does a lot better than a lot of people could do. He definitely controls the monster better than most. No, Barry Bowman, Bill Nelson doesn't. I love Bill Nelson.
Is that Bebop Deluxe?
Exactly. Yeah. All right, go on. What are we? Is that 7? No, that was.
That was 16. Now we're at the top 15 with number 15, Carlos Santana.
He should be number 1. He really is the best guitar.
Oh God.
Yeah, but Dave thinks he's number 2.
Let me say this about Carlos, and I've said it before to everybody. If you think he's a good guitar player, please look up when him and Antonio Banderas sang at the Oscars. The performance Carlos gives, I can't imagine anybody in the chat playing worse than him. I can't imagine it. And if you're not a guitar player in the chat, I'm including you too. It's terrible. It is like you watch it and you're like, is this the first time he's picked up a guitar? It's unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
Go on.
Number 14, David Gilmour, Pink Floyd.
Tasty.
I love Gilmour. I love him.
I would put him top 10. I think it's higher than that.
Well, Gilmour to me comes with criteria. What's the criteria? Because I don't think he's technically a proficient guitar player, but there's never a wasted note. Even the acoustic playing on like Dogs or anything on Animals, it's just fucking gorgeous. I love everything about Gilmour. I just don't know what but when you sit there and you say he's better than this guy, better than that guy, I don't know. But I love Gilmour.
Okay.
He's in my top 10.
Easily. Number 13, Brian May.
Should be higher.
Player.
Should be higher. I agree.
I think he's an underrated rock player.
Mm-hmm.
I think he has so much and did so much in that band. And you think about all the harmonies. It's ridiculous. Do you guys remember when Kiss did Detroit Rock City? Like, I think it was, what's the guy's name who produced? Bob Ezrin was like the one who came up with ba da 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 da. And I remember reading Paul Stanley saying, and I came up with the harmony. You came up with the harmony? You're playing a fucking third, a diatonic third above. You came up with it? Like, you fucking genius? But in reality, Brian May was writing all the counterpoint parts to make it sound like a classical movement. He's fucking awesome.
Yeah, agreed.
It's just
Number
awesome.
12, Steve Howe from Yes in Asia.
I will say this about him. He's the
Great
best
player.
guitar player with the worst tone.
You said before.
His sound always stinks.
And I think his best tone was on the Asia album.
I love Close to the Edge, but if you listen to the first 3 or 4 minutes of the song, he sounds like he's tuning his guitar. I don't know what he's doing. But he's a great player. Doesn't make my top 10.
Number 11, Robert Fripp,
Or top 20.
King Crimson.
Frippertronics.
I feel the same way about Robert Fripp. I just think it's a lot of technical stuff he's playing. I love King Crimson. I like Adrian Blue better.
Well, Adrian Blue's on the list. He's great.
Adrian Blue's on the list?
He's on this list. I love
Oh,
Adrian.
it must be
Blue.
way up there. Go ahead.
We're hitting the top 10. And earlier you said that if this man was higher than Dickie Betts, you'd be pissed. Dwayne Allman, number 10.
Bullshit. It's fucking bullshit.
Bullshit.
Oh my God.
Here's the thing about Dickie Betts. Hey, Dickie, we want you to play slide on this. Oh, great. Yeah, but try not to go sharp. Listen, I'm going to play slide. I'm going to do my thing. Okay.
Next.
Yeah.
You meant
I'm not a
Dwayne?
fan.
Because you said Dickie.
Dickie's a better player.
But
Yeah, Dwayne. I don't like Dwayne.
Okay. Number 9. I think
Shouldn't
this
be
guy's
higher than
amazing. Scotty Moore
From Elvis.
from Elvis.
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
rock and roll.
This is like paying Godfather dues here.
Hmm.
We're going to put Scotty Moore higher on the list. He was there in the beginning.
So we can seem real hip.
If here comes number 8, Chuck Berry. I know you love him.
we don't have anything without Berry, but you got to put Berry on the list. It's nonsense.
Yeah, complete.
Sir, but Berry can't play. That doesn't matter. He was there first.
Coming in at number 7, who earlier came in at number 1, Tony Iommi.
No.
You put him higher or lower?
Of all time, I'd put him, he wouldn't be in my top 10. But again, my top 10 comes with a criteria that people have to fit. I mean, I know my criteria. I don't know what this list is.
Number 6, Richie Blackmore, Deep Purple, Rainbow.
Doesn't make my top 20. 30.
Number 5.
Ross the Boss Funicello from Manowar.
Number 5 is someone I used to always put at number 1. And honestly, you can make that argument, I think, anytime. From Led Zeppelin, Jimmy Page.
What number is he?
5.
Top 3.
I love him.
Oh yeah.
I again, in my criteria, he's very high on the list. He's 1, 2, or 3. Only because I think the creativity and the stuff that he played is just my criteria has a lot to do with creativity.
Yeah.
Let me just say this. In the top 4, coming up above him, are 2 other Yardbirds.
Jeff Beck.
Back in.
Well, number 4, let's not get there yet, because number 4 is Eric Clapton.
Well, at least they have Beck beating Clapton.
Yep, true.
But both are beating Page? No. First of all,
That's sacrilege.
Clapton is just a bore to me. I mean, I like him as an artist. I could listen to the August album all day. But if you said to me, what do I think of his guitar playing? I'd be like,
Yeah.
Yeah, not digging it.
Okay. Number 3, finally, Mr. Edward Van Halen from Van Halen.
Wow. And where was Billy Gibbons in the 70s?
76.
So Billy Gibbons plus cocaine, 73-point jump.
Number 2, the other Yardbird, Jeff Beck.
Oh,
I
Jeff
like
Beck
Jeff
was number
Beck, but-
Wow. No. Not for
And
me.
at number 1, Dave, as you said before we started this list, let's get this out of the way and say Jimi Hendrix is number 1.
It's so
Where's
bullshit.
Eddie Van Halen? where's Eddie
Number
Van-
3.
Great. Okay, I missed it.
Yeah, it was Eddie Van Halen, Eric Clapton. It got Jimmy Page, Eric Clapton, Eddie Van Halen, Jeff Beck, and then Jimi Hendrix.
So there's a couple of guys I want to see if they were even on the list.
Go ahead. I'm ready for you. Go.
That aren't necessarily in my top 10 or 20, but they're still pretty amazing. One is Lindsey Buckingham.
He's in my top 20.
He is 175.
Wow. And what about Stevie Ray Vaughan?
No, he was
Stevie
an
Ray.
honorable mention.
Honorable mention.
Did Adam Jones make the list?
Hold on.
From Tool.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, yeah, he did, and I can tell you why. Because, where did I see him? Number 250. After that, there's a list of all names past 250 are unnumbered.
Insert number here.
He's one of those guys that's not technically the best guy, but very creative.
Man, what happened? Am I the only show? Hey, everybody, welcome to the Joe Show. Hey, Headstuck Harem.
I don't know.
Oh, man. All right.
All right. I don't know what happened. We all got kicked out. Like, did everyone's thing just crash?
Yeah.
Same here. Yeah, see, so your shit tonight must have been from StreamYard because they've been acting weird.
Yeah. So yeah,
I was the only one left. I took over. I said, "Hey, everyone, welcome to the Joe Show."
That's hilarious. That is hilarious.
Folks,
wait, what am I
let me
gonna
say something because I got to run and check Mikey, and then I'll be back.
Yeah, I can hear you.
But before I forget, can you hear me?
Yeah, you guys just came back.
All right, let me say something. I got to run and check Michael. Let me just say, I'll have a video out this week because in 2 days, this Wednesday will be 1.5 years.
Yeah, well, I went over to YouTube to see what happened, and I see him there by himself. Hey, what happened?
I'm on vacation, so I have time to make a video. But yes, this Wednesday will be 1.5 years sober.
Congratulations, man. That's awesome. Awesome.
I am about 2 months.
Excellent. All right,
Are
I'll
you
be back.
Froze up again.
I'll be right back.
You're 2 months sober? Matt? You
Yeah.
there?
Okay, now you're back.
You're 2 months sober?
Yeah.
Nice.
Congrats.
What the hell was that? My phone.
I know it's
is
tough
going
around the
nuts.
holidays.
Yeah.
Oh, I love the holidays.
So
Anyways,
Dave,
we'll save
one
my
thing I've
list.
learned- oh, you just froze up again. I don't know if you
We're
can
gonna
hear me.
save-
One thing I've learned from
Yeah.
the carnivore diet is don't cook bacon with your shirt off.
Yeah. You'll get spat at.
What's that?
You'll get spat at from the grease.
Yeah, you learn to cook on low heat.
Yeah.
I cook my bacon in the oven.
Wow.
It comes out
You
so
know-
good. Yeah.
I was doing the oven for a while, but I went back to doing it in the pan because the grease puddles,
Ah, shit.
and then you
Oh.
cook it in the grease, and it fries the bacon in its own grease. Oh, and it's so good. And then,
Well, you could do
with
that in
all-
the oven
with-
too. Just don't put it on a rack.
yeah, but here's the problem. Then the bacon grease, I just transfer to a smaller pan, and then I fry the burger in it, and it's unbelievable. And then I put cheese, I put Havarti and cheddar. That's what I had before I came on the show tonight. And then I will finish off the evening with a cigar. But yeah, so let's discuss carnivore for a few minutes. Matt, how long are you in carnivore now?
About 2 weeks.
All right, excellent. So this is my 24th day. I got to tell you, I feel no hunger. I'm never hungry. In fact, when I eat, I have to force myself to eat. Like I'm like, I should eat. It's breakfast. I got to go to the gym. So this morning I made eggs, and then I took like this egg white wrap thing and put cheese and pepperoni in there. Ate that. It was like a quesadilla. And then I didn't eat till about 7:00 tonight. And that was at 10 in the morning. So I'm never hungry.
So Dave, I just got a text from Dave Smason. You remember Dave Smason?
Oh, I saw Mason at like a year or two ago. He came in Boston.
He must be watching the show because he just asked me, where do you rank No Quarter as all-time rock jam? So I'm wondering if he's watching the show.
Oh, I don't know. We didn't mention Zeppelin, but we did. But No Quarter, huh?
Yeah.
Cheech, no, please. I'll tell you what,
We've gotten
Cheech,
this
you eat
discussion
all
before.
the unsaturated fats, and I'm going to keep eating saturated fats, and we'll see which one has a heart attack first.
It's all about the inflammation. It's like if
Yeah.
you eat
Well, it doesn't matter.
saturated
They've
fats
done
without foods that
in
inflame.
America, they've done billions. They spent billions of dollars on tests, on testing saturated fat versus unsaturated fat, and the only thing they could find was that unsaturated fat gives you higher levels of cancer and stroke. However, the saturated fat has no effect on your cholesterol. Not that cholesterol matters, but because it doesn't. But anyways, my list was the greatest theme songs from television shows. But we'll end up doing it next week because Joe had these that he had on his docket. And hold on, let me just see what this says here. Ken Berry's live. Okay, they keep showing me the same notifications. But yeah, so Cheech, yeah, definitely lard is awesome for you. Lard, beef fat, which is beef tallow, or butter, all have vitamins A, D, and K2. And also they cause you to produce hormones. So if you're a man, that fat will help you produce testosterone. Unsaturated fats is nutrient deficient food. Plus, it's unsaturated, which means that there are plenty of double carbon bonds that can be oxygenated and can get oxygenated once it's in your blood. And that will cause a lot more issues down the road, including insulin resistance and everything else that goes with it. However, like I said, all the saturated fats are good for you. And if they think they aren't good for you, I would say to you, go do some research. There's a great movie on YouTube that's free. It's called Fat Fiction. I'll post it right now, actually. Did you watch that one, Matt?
I did, yeah. Very good.
It's great.
Very informative.
Well, it's informative, and it's it's a lot of doctors talking about buy or rent. I want the free one. Here we go. Boom. I gotta click on it, I guess. Cut.
Yeah, Cheech,
You can disagree all you want, Cheech,
yeah.
but you're an idiot.
It's as long as
he says a greasy burger is healthy. I disagree. You can disagree, but you're an idiot. Go do the research and come back to me and tell me. But go look at any tests. You've just been brainwashed by what people tell you. Low-fat diet, right? If the low-fat diet were good, 1 in 3 people wouldn't be pre-diabetic. 2 out of 3 people wouldn't be pre-diabetic, and 1 in 3 wouldn't be type 2 diabetic. Heart attacks, obesity, obesity is 1 in 3. Used to be 1 in 3,000. And what's interesting is none of those fucking issues ever existed before polyunsaturated fats came into the market. When everyone ate saturated fat only, those things were never in existence. That's strange, isn't it? 2,000 years, people are eating fucking things fried in beef fat and things fried in lard. Now we fry it in healthy oil and everyone's sick as a fucking dog. That makes sense. Cheech, you believe what you want to believe, and good luck to you.
There we go. Gonna put Mikey to bed.
Very good. Anyways, since starting carnivore, I've been on high fat now for
24 days.
High saturated? No, 24 is just when I went carnivore. Why sell extra lean beef then? Because you've been brainwashed to buy it. I don't buy extra lean beef. When I buy hamburger, I'm looking for the highest fat amount.
Yeah, me too.
70-30 if I can find it.
I can only find 85.
Yeah,
I
that
find
sucks.
80-20. 80-20.
That's because the
But you know what I
government
do?
set guidelines. But the government would never lie to you.
Yeah,
Why would
but
they
you know
lie
what
to
I
you?
do to make up for that? Bacon every fucking night.
All I have to say, Cheech, is watch that documentary. It's doctors. There are doctors who are reversing type 2 diabetes, all kinds of issues. Just watch it. Have an open mind and watch it. If you don't agree after you watch that, I'll say, okay, you don't agree.
Let me add
But until you watch it.
Let me add to what Speed for Hire just said. The greasy beef is good. You know what's bad? The bleach white flour bun they keep.
That's what I'm getting.
On.
That's what I'm getting at. The processed carbs. That's what causes the
Carbs
inflammation.
will fucking kill you.
So a greasy burger is unhealthy if you're consuming the processed carbs with it.
Yeah,
because
we don't
that
do
creates
carbs.
the inflammation. Yeah, I'm just saying that's why people think that the greasy burger is bad, because what happens is that the processed carbs cause the inflammation.
All
in
processed
the arteries,
foods are poison.
and that's when the saturated fats, that's when they build up, because it's attaches itself to the inflammation. So you get rid of the processed
all right,
carbs.
Cheech, good luck to you.
Your
That's all
body
I gotta
just
tell you. Good
processes
luck to
all
you.
that cholesterol, like it processes.
Keep
the
following the
cholesterol
government
naturally.
guidelines, and 1 in 3 people fucking with diabetes, type 2 diabetes. Basically 1 in 3 people have metabolic issues, and you say there's too much bunk on stuff online that go against that. And you could go watch doctors who have been carnivore for 22 years show their blood work, that all they eat. And this guy, the guy who I like, Dr. Chaffee, he buys his hamburger meat 50-50 from a butcher. But yeah, anyways, I don't want to listen. I don't want to talk fucking nutrition with people that are brainwashed. I don't care. If you're not going to bring any information, I'll tell you what, Cheech, you show me one source of information that says what you're saying, a scientific study, and I'll give you $100. How's that? One scientific study that proves what you're saying.
At some point, when you increase
but
the fat in the hamburger,
you owe me 100.
When you increase the fat in the hamburger, isn't it like a diminishing return type thing? Because you're cooking all the grease out of it anyway. So, I mean, it's like, I like 80-20 because it makes a juicy burger. But at some point, if it's 50-50, when you cook that hamburger, all that fat's going to go out in the pan anyway.
No, not all of it.
Not all of it, but I mean, what remains in, I mean, like, how's it any different than like 80-20 or 75, whatever, because I mean, they're all going to be.
How do you cook your burgers? Are you cooking your burgers like hockey pucks?
A cast iron pan.
Are you cooking it down?
Medium.
Are you eating them? Okay, well, I eat mine rare. So the only thing that's rendering is the edge. No, obviously you're not listening, Cheech. Vegetable oil is poison. Absolute poison. Cook it in beef tallow and you're okay. Cook it in vegetable oil. You have a complete, all right, Cheech, I'm going to show you one other video. This is another doctor, so you might think it's bunk. Because clearly, your fucking government that tells you what to eat knows more.
Yeah, because you remember everyone said margarine was healthy, but then they found out that had all the trans fats, and that for years margarine was healthy. Margarine was healthier than butter. Margarine. Then all of a sudden, the community said, "No, fuck no! It's all trans fats. It's all
it's the
hydrogenated."
You never seen this video either. I can tell you right now, you haven't watched this video, Krella. Watch this video. Right there. Dr. Nobby.
Let me make a note of it. Yeah.
That's you want to watch. Has nothing to do with trans fats are a very little part of it. Has nothing. Well, that's what you're talking about. You're talking about what the government guidelines are for food, but there are doctors that'll tell you that's bullshit. And I'm showing you 2 doctors. Watch the movie and watch that right there, Cheech, the Chris Kanabi, and educate yourself on something. He comes with hard facts to argue. Hard facts. So anyways, what I'm saying, Krell, is when you cook a burger, unless you're burning that burger all the way through, not all the fat's rendering out. It's only rendering out of where you cook it. So mostly it's way high fat if you're eating a 50-50 than if you're eating 90-10 or 80-20. Even 70-30, you're getting all that fat in the middle there.
Okay, so you're cooking a hamburger, but I mean, like, I'm talking about let's say you make ground beef, it's like the ground beef where you're making something with, if you want to have crumbled ground beef with something.
Cheech, just watch it. Instead of putting up a wall and arguing, just watch it.
I'm trying to figure out.
You are smart enough, I think, to walk away and believe what you want to believe. But watch those videos and come back and then tell me what you believe. But there's all the information right there. You can watch it or not. But you want to sit there and just say you don't believe it because what you believe or what you've been taught, you think you've been taught the truth your whole life? If you were taught the truth your whole life, you wouldn't have so many sick people in the world. Would you say people are getting sicker or healthier over time? They're getting way sicker. We're fucking putting ads from fucking drug companies on TV. Prime time while you're fucking eating dinner, they're telling you, take Plaxil, take this for that. Oh, your cholesterol's high? You're type 2 diabetic? It's insane. Absolutely insane what's going on. And to walk around and sit there and go, well, why sell me a low-fat steak? Why? Because you're an idiot and bought it. Don't be an idiot. Buy the fattier steak.
Get the ribeye.
The fattier steak satiate, and stay the fuck away from processed sugar and flour. Processed sugar and flour is it's the problem. I don't care. Listen, if anybody is in this chat and they're type 2 diabetic and you guys take metformin, I will absolutely show you a way where you can get off of it and fix it. Yes, the U.S. has the most obese people in the world. Exactly. They didn't used to. But since fucking oils came into the fucking mix, and it's all about omega-6, you watch it. Like I said, I don't need to convince you, Cheech, because I don't know you. And personally, whatever happens to you in your life is up to you. I don't care. But when someone says to me like, oh, a greasy burger, well, that's just you being stupid. You don't know what you're talking about. And that's fine. I don't care if you're going to talk, but I'm going to call you out because it's my show. It's called the DL show, right? It's not called the Cheech show. So I get the last word. That's how the fucking world works. I'm glad you're healthy. Unbelievable.
Got really quiet all of a sudden.
Well, it doesn't matter. I'm just saying the information's out there, folks. If you want to learn something about nutrition, you can find it out. Or you can just message Cheech and he'll tell you what the fucking government's been telling everybody.
You know that, and that's the thing. You got to keep in mind the same people.
Excellent, Johnny. Thank you for the Tommy boy.
That are in charge of what's guidelines for healthy and nutrition are the people that want the population of the earth to fucking drop dead.
Well, I don't think it was that nefarious. I definitely think that when, what the hell was his name? Now I'm blanking on his name. The guy who was basically behind the heart healthy diet and basically sold this low fat diet. And they've done more studies on the low fat diet and proved that it didn't do a damn thing and that it was more harmful. And again, if you watch those two things I showed you, you'll see why. But they never proved anything. And yet what happened was Procter & Gamble gave the Heart Association $1.7 million in 1948. And that was basically when the Heart Association took off. Well, that's fine. That's fine, Cheech. You don't think, but you don't know because you're not educated on it. That's all. You don't understand that a greasy burger, if it's made in its own fat or made using a beef fat, is really not bad for you. As soon as you cook it in oil, yeah, that's not good grease. That's garbage. And that's poison. It's definitely never too late for a ribeye.
I was just going to say that ribeye is my favorite cut.
Ribeye is the best steak because it's the fattiest steak. And that's where the flavor is. But honestly, if you're going to eat a steak, you know what I eat with a steak? You know what my side dish is? I went to 2 restaurants last weekend. Both times I got a steak, I said, do not cook it in seed oil. I'm allergic. It must be cooked in butter. And then they brought it for me. I took 4 or 5 butter pads, put it on top of it, and I had a side of bacon. Bacon was my side dish.
Do you do liver?
Hey, Eric Johnson gets it. What? No. I don't want any of that crap. But anyways,
I'm
love
down. Liver.
Yeah, bacon was my side dish.
You want to talk about vitamins?
No, grease is not okay. Cheech, never mind. Go watch those shows and please don't talk till you watch it because you don't know what you're talking about. Oil is seed oil. That is made from fucking seeds, which they call vegetable oil, but it's not a vegetable. They get it from seeds. Now, what happens with that oil is they got to fucking purify it. They got to hexane solvent it. They're going to put all kinds of shit in it. They got to hydrogenate it so you can eat it. So it won't kill you, but it's still killing you. Fat is natural. Saturated fat in its regular form is going to be a solid until you heat it up, and then it's a liquid. Anywho. Cheech, I just implore that you watch those 2 videos. If you watch those 2 videos, I'll be and disagree, I'll be like, well, Cheech, I at least respect your opinion because you watched them. But coming out and saying, isn't grease oil at the end of the day, I can tell you right now, these guys know it's not. Matt knows it's not. Krellbar knows it's not. And Joe for certain knows it's not.
I do use oils. I use olive oil and
well,
avocado.
olive oil is still 10 to 1. That's why I knew you would. You know what? That's why I said you need to watch that video. That video will make you shit your pants when it comes to oils.
Oh, I'm definitely not comparing it to animal fat.
Well, animal fat has vitamins. It's actually a nutrient-dense food, whereas oils generally aren't. Olive oil is technically also not a seed oil. It's made from pressed olives. Avocado oil, the same. They're not made from seed. However, they're natural oils. However, they're not the greatest for you. Coconut oil is better because coconut oil is saturated as opposed to monounsaturated. Somewhere along the line, somebody had the genius idea of selling unsaturated as healthy. And people think the word saturated, oh, it's saturated. That sounds like it's bad. Except for Peavy. When Peavy wanted to add distortion.
Saturation.
The saturation. But the point is that saturated just means that there are no open double carbon bonds, so it can't be oxidized. You could leave it on your counter.
Penguin oil? Is that a joke? Best oil is penguin oil. I put coconut oil in second place.
I use avocado oil in my rice recipe. I wouldn't eat rice. Yeah. Yeah, no, the best thing for your cat is real food. There's nothing better than real food. All I'm saying, guys, is if you want to have a crash course in nutrition, watch those 2 videos I posted. It'll at least wake you up to a big problem and then a bigger problem. However, it's all good. It's all good. And Joe, how is your diet going? Joe's been carnivore for quite some time, Matt.
Well, I'm not full like you because I love my olives.
Right.
But other than that, everything else is carnivore.
I could never eliminate
tonight. I'm going to make a burger. I'm making bacon. I always have the bacon. I have 2 little chicken thighs I got to cook before they go bad. So, and I haven't eaten yet. So I'm kind of like, we got to wrap this shit up. I'm getting fucking.
Oh yeah. Well, I was going to say I haven't smoked yet, but I did. I smoked 2 cigars before the show. I'll have another one. Now you want to sit there and you want to tell me about cigars being bad? I won't listen to you anyways. But
my doctor applauded me when I told him I took up cigar smoking last year.
Yeah, because it's relaxing. You know why? Because it's actually good for stress. It's a stress reliever. All right, guys. Well, this is going to be the end of the show forever. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm totally kidding. Anyways, listen, I hope everyone had a good time. We had a good time. I had a great time with Matt here tonight.
Yeah, good meeting you,
Great
Matt.
time with Joe.
Hey guys, I got to get off here because you keep cutting out, so I'm going to say goodbye while I can.
All right, very good,
Okay,
Matt. Thanks
good
for
night,
coming here.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for being here.
Oh, anytime.
All right, excellent.
Anytime.
Joe, always a pleasure. Go eat. I think. Oh, Joe, have you been buying pork rinds at all?
No, I stopped
Why?
because ever since the one shattered my tooth and I used my other. my fucking
Anytime
tooth,
you know
I'm
you're
like,
going to bite into one of those ones that's super crunchy, I just throw that one out.
I didn't know. And then I'm thinking that night I'm thinking, damn, that pork rind was tough. I was fucking
Yeah,
grinding up my
we was
tooth.
Angus Young on that list. Rick Grimes wants to know.
Good question. Let me see.
Krellba,
This
watch
should be
that
top
Royals.
10.
Actually, watch both those Krell. Both.
Yeah, I'll watch that tonight.
They're both
Angus
in
and
the-
Malcolm were 81 and 82.
So
Oh
that's
my
Chris
God.
Nobby and I don't know if
And
I got
Fat
the other
Fiction.
one.
It's called Fat Fiction.
Oh, Fat Fiction on Tubi.
I
Oh,
love that
no.
Neil Young is 91.
He should be 250.
He shouldn't even be an honorable mention.
Speaking
I
of
agree.
Tubi, I mentioned to you yesterday a movie I saw called Four Lions. I know
Yeah, was
if
that on
anyone in
Tubi?
chat- Yeah, it's on Tubi. Just friggin' some hilarious moments in that friggin' movie. Oh my god.
I mean, what was that movie?
Hey, Laurie, why don't you get
Four
out of my
Lions.
fucking chat, huh? You block me
It's-
on Facebook. You're not my friend. You pretend to come in here and you're such a two-faced cunt. Get the fuck lost.
Who's this?
Laurie. She has me blocked on Facebook, but comes in here like we're pals. Fuck you. Fucking cunt.
Okay, this is news to me. Okay. Well, anyways, this movie Four Lions, it's these English Muslim jihadis, and they're just bumbling idiots. And it's a black comedy. It's like the Spinal Tap of jihadis, basically. And it's got some really funny moments in the freaking thing. So if you ever want to watch that, watch the whole movie. They have the thick accents, though. Sometimes you got to watch it a little over sometimes, because sometimes you might miss something, but
Cool speed.
some quotable lines.
All right, everyone. That's going to be the show.
All righty.
All right. Have a great night,
Goodbye.
everyone. Joe, have a great night.
Yeah.
Krellba, have a great night.
Going to enjoy the rest of my staycation.
Goodbye, Ted.
Good night,
Excellent.
and God bless everybody.
God bless us, everyone.
Everyone.
Very good.
Okay, goodbye, Ted.
Goodbye.